Welcome back, everybody, to episode 7 of Caster Curse. I am Nurse slash Blair, and as always, I am joined by Coach Zeke on the other side of the screen.
That's me on the other side of the screen. That's me. Hello. Welcome, everybody.
There they are. Who would have thought? First of all, happy Pride, everybody, in the month of June. This is the first June one we've done, allegedly? Who knows?
I think that's
Either
right.
way.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah, owned. 6 ads.
Yeah. Yeah,
Destroyed.
sorry, auto ads. Anyway. Oops.
Either way, we're here for episode 7, and we have a bit of a doozy for the people who are kind of tuning in live.
There's a lot.
There was a big patch reveal today.
It was like a taster. Like, it wasn't even the whole patch, but they gave us a huge teaser of the big patch coming for the month of June for Rivals 2, which I think we both agree. We'll get into it more, but it looks pretty good.
Hey, you had no idea what I thought about this, and still don't.
Yeah.
But overall, I was pretty happy.
Yeah. No, we haven't had a conversation at all yet, so this will be fun.
No, this will be fun. Yeah, I specifically didn't talk to you about it.
Yeah, no, I'm glad we did that, because we were thinking. You had messaged me and been like, "Oh, should we watch it together?" And I was like, "I think it'll be more fun to not do that, and we'll have a lot more to talk about then."
Yeah, it'll be good. I think I'm interested to hear what your reaction to it is, and if it's the same as the reaction that I was having in terms of
We'll get to that.
How to navigate this, but we'll get to it. Okay.
We'll get to it.
In terms of the topics that we have today, we're going to do a bit of a precap for some of the big tournaments coming up, particularly CEO,
yes,
which is the next R2CS event. Garden Brawl is also happening this weekend, which I believe is in Tri-State.
New York, that's correct. Or North Jersey, but that's the same thing. So
isn't that Tri-State?
Yeah. No, I'm just being specific. I'm just being specific for the people.
Cool.
Yeah.
Another big tournament happening this weekend. We're going to move on to the patch preview, recap, thoughts. Yeah. I don't know if you're wanting to do an alleged winners and losers, but
I forgot we've done that. Yeah,
so ambitious at this point.
I think we'll save that for next time, because then we'll know the whole patch. We can give some initial, we'll pick one winner and one loser each. We'll do that for today.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Then we're also going to kind of talk about Marvel Tokon Fighting Spirits, which just got revealed over the last little bit, and I know both of us are very excited for that. Mm-hmm. So we're going to give some thoughts on that. Probably, I'm doing a wish list. You can do whatever you want. And then we're going to end it off with the media of the week, as we always do. I think it's a great time to get into it. Yeah,
this will be fun. Let's hop right into this. Let's talk about CEO. This is RCS official event. This is going to be pretty stacked. Most notably, it has a handful of players in attendance who are from Florida or the Southeast, who have not had the opportunity to attend a lot, and are lucky enough to have this kind of in their little backyard. Right out the gate, the two most notable ones to talk about are Sinbad, who won Let's Make Moves Miami, and Ant, who is considered to be one of, if not in contention for the best Rano right now, and has been for a while.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think one of the interesting things about this event is if you're looking from a points perspective, there's a lot of people on here who don't have any points. Namely, I believe Ant and Sinbad probably don't have any at this point. But there's also But there's also people that low-key do have some already, like Dakpo.
Yes.
Which means that Dakpo, if he's able to go on a run at this event, is going to be someone who is positioned pretty well from a points perspective.
Yeah, he is.
Other than that, you kind of have people on the top end like Stango and Marlon and Kekasol, who you kind of expect to be doing well, but there's a lot of room for stuff in that kind of area below.
Yeah. Someone else of note to really bring attention to, I'm going to pull up the bracket again here, is Sofilo is actually making the trip all the way from NorCal to Florida as far as possible to show up for her first big offline RCS event. and I believe she's seated like 7th, which is insane.
All good.
Yeah, we're gonna. This will be a big test for her. I'm really excited to see how this goes. You know who if there of the people that we have here on the bracket, you know, we have a handful of the regulars like you mentioned, and a couple like Florida or like Southeast natives. Most notably like some of the players that are really interesting from the Southeast being Dingo, Acorn is also here, and Terry. Terry is a Rivals 1 Olympia, I believe.
Okay. The potential there.
Yeah, and apparently they've been you know having a good time and having fun with the good old Olympia coming back. I am, and they're definitely good players and like have been playing against each other more. I know Florida's been running like their online events like down there to kind of prep for this event, which is really cool to see. Notably, what was it? I think Dingo and Terry, I think were both at MomoCon, and I think Dingo won, if I remember correctly.
Did very well at the very least.
I think he won because I don't think Piggy or Adam won. Yeah. Okay, confirmation. Yeah, he did win. Dingo did win MomoCon. Obviously, didn't have any like the super top talent, but going and outplacing members of the community who have been doing really well, especially online. Piggy and Adam, like I mentioned, really huge feat. I'm not gonna lie. And he's just rocking the Forsburn. You know, that's the Fors Bros. Let's go.
Got one more tournament before it's over.
No. He only gets better, surely.
You know who else won a tournament in the last week?
Yeah.
Simple.
Yeah.
Either way, moving on.
Holy.
I think there's some interesting stuff in this bracket. I feel like I haven't seen ZB compete in so long.
Yeah, he skipped the online event. He entered and then decided he wasn't
a combo breaker either.
That's correct. Yep.
So again, like a player like ZB, someone we expect to be doing well, another player with actually no points on the circuit so far. So there's at least a little bit of pressure to do well. And then also on the other side, Vibe also potentially going on a big run and securing some more points for themselves.
I'm so sad we're getting the Vibe Stango run back. I'm sure Stango's happy he's getting the run back, but I wanted to see Vibe fight literally anyone else.
Anyone else? Yeah.
Yeah. This could be really interesting. I'm very excited about it. This is definitely like a lot of people look at this and be like, oh, there's so many people missing, but this is so stacked, like genuinely. And
yeah,
there were like some weird like swingy sets where like there's a universe where maybe Acorn beats ZB. I don't think it'll happen, but that would be crazy if that upset happened. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's difficult too because it's people we haven't seen in a little bit.
Yep.
Like Ant and ZB and that stuff. So we don't actually know relatively how they compare still.
The set of the tournament is going to be Ant versus Elkies. That's going to be like the shift in the universe is like what happens here.
It's going to be nuts.
Because like if Ant beats Elkies, he's gonna play out of his mind.
He's back.
And he's gonna be cake. He's gonna be cake. Like for sure. But he's gotta conquer the demon, and like he's openly said this before, like he struggles against the people who have no fear and just be going crazy, and she is the queen of that, basically.
She's the number one player that's just gonna do shit to you.
So I think that's gonna be that's the set I'm the most excited for. What about you? Is there anything any of these sets before top 8 that you're like really excited for?
Can you scroll down to losers so I can see that really quick too?
Yeah, we can take a little peek down here because there are some other really notable players like Gekinga's in attendance, which is cool.
That's exactly who I was gonna say. And like we haven't even shouted out Backpack, who's a great player in his own right.
Yep.
And Apple Wiz. I didn't even know Apple Wiz was gonna be here. Someone who had a great run at Platfight, almost beat Ant at that tournament.
Mm-hmm. No, there are a lot of notable names that are like slipping into here. I'm really excited about.
Upsets absolutely could be made. I think I'm like such a fan of the underdogs. You know what I mean? Like I see that like in losers they have like Sophie versus Ant, and Vibe versus Dakpo. I think those ones.
Oh yeah, Vibe Dakpo is gonna be really fun for me. I'm really excited for that.
I just love seeing the players like that kind of go at it, especially in losers and. when we don't know how these players stack up against each other, like we said, like Sinbad and Ant haven't, and to a degree ZB haven't attended anything in a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And so while they were doing very well before, how do they kind of stand up after everyone had like a month or two of kind of like tournament playtime over them?
Yeah. No,
and I think the other thing is, I know if people have been kind of following Twitter and stuff, some players are kind of encountering a mental battle, and
it's been a little bit of a rut for a lot of people right now. Yeah.
And being in like this circuit, very like performance driven, actions have consequences system for the first time, that kind of weighs on you mentally more than just going to singular tournaments does. You know what I mean? And so I think 100%. It's also going to be interesting to see who in those cases kind of rises to the occasion.
Yep. 100% agree. 100% agree. Yeah, the people that are like really on my radar that are like of the underdogs, it's like, well, funny enough, Gikinga and Shadow, who are seeded to play into each other, are two very respectable players. Shadow,
very good.
Being very close to having a breakout at the online RCS, and just had a rough bracket, but almost beat Full Stream, notably. Like, that's a big deal. Everyone was kind of getting clapped up, but Shadow kept it real close.
Is Shadow the one that tries to snipe me every time I play the game?
I have no idea. I don't think so, because Shadow would be all the way in Florida, so I don't think so.
Okay, no, there's someone else.
Shadow is really interesting because he is one of the more veteran Rivals 1 players, but he is very much like he's like one of those lab monsters. He'll find something about a character and just really go into it. And so back in the day, he was known as like the Rano lab monster. And for him, he was like the up air guy. Every evil thing that ever happened with up air, it's his fault. Like, for sure.
Apple's pretty good right now.
It's pretty good. But he didn't really click with Rano at the start of this game. He actually played Fleet. He loved Fleet's movement and the cancels and the whole variance of flow and all that. And that was a big thing. But when Olympia dropped in this game, it was like the greatest Christmas party for him. And the funniest thing is, the move that he labs is fucking side B.
Great.
And it's trying to find all the ways to combo into it and confirm off of it. And it is his candy. He's obsessed with it. And it is so darn funny. I love it so much. So I'm really excited to see it, to see how he does. And of course, Gikinga just really hasn't attended much, but is mostly known amongst a lot of players to be very good with Loxodon, if not one of the better Loxodon players.
Yeah, definitely.
But also notably plays like super aggressively. He is not like the turret Lox in any way, shape, or form. He is the complete other side of the coin of, let's throw hands. I'm the big guy, and you better be scared of me.
I don't know how scared I am of holding forward Loxodon.
I don't know. I guess we'll all find out, right?
Yeah, we'll figure out the hard way, hey?
Yeah. Anything could happen. This is one of those tournaments where like there are so many like unknown quantities of like players where there's just so little data on them, or who just haven't had like another shot, like Shiv, who beat DB at Platfight. You know, it's just like they're just these little killers.
I remember that.
Rakai, who hasn't entered anything as far as I know, who's an amazing Orcane player. Like this could be his run. Kero's in attendance. I don't know the last time I watched Kero play this game. Like, these are just all good players, just good players. So it like the quality of matches are going to be really high as soon as we touch top 32, pretty much. Like, that's crazy.
It's going to be spicy as soon as we get there, and I think. Yeah, I think people are like, okay, like I can kind of guess who's going to make top 8, and I'm like,
you never know.
Not.
Maybe
like,
it's a weird one.
At least one of them is going down. I think it's guaranteed. I think it's built in.
Yeah, I would be very surprised if nobody got upset. Genuinely. So this will be really interesting. Sorry, I gotta appreciate someone in the chat for our live chat said it's almost as stacked as a Zekly.
That's so funny.
That's awesome. I love that. Man. Thank you for that. Anyways, I think CEO will be fun. I will be watching it on Sunday, which I think is the top 32 portion of the tournament. So I'll be streaming and watching that on Sunday. I'm
working.
But on Saturday, I will be in attendance. I'm not actually playing. I'm just going to spectate and hang out. But I will be at Garden Brawl, which is our next tournament we want to talk about. But
yes.
Brackets aren't out. So I don't know everybody who's going to be in this tournament, but I know, notably, B-Bats is going to be here instead of CEO.
Yes.
And Switch are like the big ones. But some of the New England guys are coming down. Like Shadowhawk, I believe, is going to be in attendance, which is really awesome.
Well, I know Yoda Cage is going to be there as well, who just took a pretty big tournament.
Yes, over Ham Polo. Let me quickly filter.
If we filter for rival singles, we can figure it out.
Yeah. Is it okay?
Cool. Elu's gonna be there. Let's go, Elu.
Okay.
Yoda Cage, MSB.
The big ones immediately. So we
Archangel.
have Music. We have Wait, Recupid is gonna be here? What the fuck?
That's my goat.
Wait, how are you ending up over here, dog? That's crazy.
Oh, Ant?
Other Ant. There's
different
multiple.
Ant?
Different Ant.
Okay.
Yep, different Ant. Then B-Bats, Switch, Shadowhawk, Elu, Yoda Cage, MSP is going to be in attendance, always awesome. Archangel is going to be here, Solar Beam, Uda, that's another one. Lone is coming down, that's cool, and of course, Hempolo is going to be in attendance. So it is definitely like Tri-States, New England-ish little mishmash. Very cool, very, very excited. Not nearly as large of a scale, and is not RCS at all, but if there's one thing we got here in Tri-State, it's every tournament is fucking stacked. Even Fusion, the weeklies are stacked.
I feel like Tri-State is one of the few regions that has a very consistent, like, in-person weekly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think
I feel like as a result of that, a lot of the Tri-State players are like pulling ahead in terms of like having effective practice and being able to kind of like get reps in. I feel like even seeing Hampolo and like Yoda Cage and a couple other of those players kind of ascend the ranks so quickly feels like a result of how accessible the weeklies have been.
Absolutely. Yeah, we've really like huge shout outs to the team at the Collision Series team. To community members like Solar Beam and Cheesy Potato for like making that extra effort to work with the Collision team for like the Fusion majors and stuff like that. It's awesome. I'm super privileged and grateful for what we have. It's one of a kind, and I absolutely love it. It's crazy that it's like it's the most like positive competitive environment I think I've ever been in, where like genuinely everyone is invested in helping everybody get better. Where like I always felt like I mean, me and you have been around for a while. There's always been like, you know, a couple different groups of people that kind of gravitated, right? But for the first time, like the rival scene, like it feels like everyone is like invested in everybody succeeding, which is really cool because that's what happens. Like that's what led to like everybody just whoosh getting really good really fast. And like, I mean, the most notable one, like you said, was Hampolo, where it's like he's just showing up, talking and playing and talking and playing and talking and playing, and bam, now he's like a serious threat.
Yeah.
By the way, I took game 1 from him at the weekly.
Oh, good job.
Yeah, I beat his Clarion.
You took a game from Hampolo. I won a tournament. You know, we're out here making moves.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, we're doing it. Anyways,
you and me on top.
against the world. But no, this tournament is gonna be really cool. I've never gotten to go to this, but I believe it's happened a couple times before. I think it was like a PM or Melee thing prior to this. So it's awesome to see. Just it's gonna be everything. It's gonna have Melee, Rivals, Ultimate, all that cool stuff.
I think it'll be interesting too. I'm hoping that all these people kind of get out and get to travel, especially like Hampolo, Yoda Cage, those kind of guys who we don't really see outside of Tri-State too often. Again, when we're talking about players who like are kind of unknown quantities in terms of like, let's say the top 20, or like the recognized quote unquote top 20. I think there's so much opportunity for people to show up and be like, okay, no, never mind. I do belong here. Or you should have put some respect on it. When we don't really know, you know what I mean? Yeah. And I always feel like it's so hard to judge how good people are.
Oh yeah. When there isn't enough data.
Right now.
Yeah. It's insane. It feels like the highs are so high for some people and the lows are really low, and like they're all going like this and flip flopping over and over and over. It's really interesting. Like, thankfully we're really lucky. Like here in Tri-State, we're gonna have Collision later this summer, and then we're pretty close to Supernova, so we're gonna have Supernova as well. Yeah. And a handful of us are going to Gommel, so it's like it's all close enough that it's like accessible, which is really cool. And we're definitely very lucky. Yeah. Oh no, it's literally like, I mean, we're gonna be driving up. It's like 8 or 9 hour drive. Yeah, it's drivable.
Easy peasy. That's a day. That's a
day. Yeah, it's a day. We're driving on my birthday.
Me and Alphakins did that to Regina back in the day.
That's crazy.
That's how you know we were in the damn dumps.
That's crazy.
Drove 8 hours to Regina.
That's wow. You love to see that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Garden Brawl I think will be a fun one. I think there'll be some banger sets. It'll be nice to see. I know Switch has been playing Zetaburn again, so we might get a little appearance of that.
Oh my god, not to out Switch.
Oh no, he told me.
He's one of the many people who shot me a DM apologizing for bullying me about Zetaburn.
I rated him the other day, right? And he was like, Zeke, I apologize to Blair, and I want to say I'm sorry. And I was like, oh my god, I know what this is about. Call me. And I just knew. And you didn't even tell me or anything. I just knew. And he calls me and he explains, and I was like, I was like, this is catharsis. I've just waited for this. When he finally realized that Zetaburn just can't die in this patch.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it was crazy.
You owe me an apology too. I believed before you did.
I literally said he was in contention for the best in the game. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh my god. Dude, I feel like I've been fighting a war.
I'm not your enemy. I've been saying Zetaburn has been the best since Switch was saying he's the 5th best in the game.
I've been saying it since like it's got to be since like February.
Listen.
But I was out here by myself.
You've been on the Zetaburn like hate thing, and I'm with you. I got a whole other mission. Right. I've been having to spend the past, how much? 6 months explaining to people why Crag is good. Okay?
That too!
I know. That's the one that's really, that's my mission.
That one too?
Yeah, that's been my mission.
I'm here. I'm like, Crag and Zetaburn are good. I'm sorry that this is controversial, you fucks.
This is the Crag Zetaburn game. That's what it's been.
And now people are like, oh, I'm so sorry. And then I say another take where I'm like, oh, guys, maybe Fleet's not so fucking bad. And then people are all again.
I don't know about all that. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. But...
See, you don't even believe. You don't even believe. What do I have to do?
You know, that one's your war. I'm not. I'll be on the sidelines for that one.
What do I have to do to prove myself? What do I have to do to get a
play the character yourself and beat actual good people in tournament? Yeah, that's what you have to do.
She's pretty good.
No. I need you to do it. If you want to prove
if it's based on who I can play, Raster's the worst character in the game.
Not next week, he isn't.
We'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there.
But no, before we go off on like a tangent about this, be a hater. Fleet's good. She has better results than Rano. Don't kill me.
You can't like full like say with a straight face that Fleet is better than Rano right now.
I don't think she's better.
Okay, good. I just needed that to be like on the record that you don't think that, because you keep saying that phrase of like, you know, Rano, and I'm just like, you're not saying Fleet is better than Rano.
Fleet is not better than Rano. There's no way.
Yeah,
but she does have better results than Rano.
Yeah, but that's like she has better results than Orcane. But like, let's be real.
Maybe better than Orcane.
I don't know about that one.
No. I think she's in the conversation.
There's no way.
You're fucked. You're fucked. Tell me when 19 Orcanes can top 8 a major.
That's not what's happening. There are 3 people playing Fleet.
There's 4.
Who's the 4th?
No.
There's 3. You're just lying.
Like 4 of them.
There's 3, and one of them doesn't even play her anymore.
There's only one Orcane that makes top 8.
Yeah, that doesn't mean that she's better. That means the players suck right now. That's all what that means.
Okay, sorry.
It's just like Rano. And to be fair, also, Rano is one of the only characters that has taken a set off of Kakasol. Let's not blow our brains out over this. Like,
what do you mean?
What do I mean?
I think Rano's good.
No, but like Oh, okay. We're done with this topic.
You guys,
Yeah,
honestly,
we're not doing this.
honestly, people are on my side. I'm looking at the chat. People are kind of on my side.
Who are people?
They're kind of on my side. And honestly, I think they've learned. And this is something that everyone's going to come to learn. I'm fucking smart. And for some reason,
smart people don't usually have to tell people that, you know?
No, but I do for some reason. I don't fucking know why. But it takes people a while to come around. I don't know why. It was just like this in Ultimate. And you can vouch for this. You can vouch for this. Remember when I said Rob was top 5 and people were like, "You're fucking crazy"? You remember that?
That did happen.
Yeah. And guess who wasn't fucking crazy? You know who also said, "Oh, I don't think Joker's top 5." I said that.
You said that when he had broken guns. You were stupid.
I was right. No, I wasn't.
You said it before he got nerfed. No, you're wrong. I'm not giving you that one. You were just bad.
I knew the whole time. You
knew they were going to nerf him, yeah.
You want to know who said Steve was good from day one? It was me. You want to know who said Aegis was not going to have trouble getting solo results? It was fucking me. How many times do I got to be right? How many times? How many times do I got to go against the curve? How many times do I got to be like... say something controversial, and then 6 months later, people are like, "Nurse, I'm sorry," and then go back not believing me.
Listen, I'm on your side for the ones that are logical. We're not going to pretend Fleet is better than Orcane. We're not doing that. We're not doing it. It's not even a conversation.
She's in the conversation.
It's literally not.
I think she's right there with Claire and Orcane and Maple.
You think Fleet is as good as Maple?
I think she's in the conversation for sure.
Now you've completely lost me.
No, I shouldn't have. I shouldn't have. Even if we say Maple's a little bit better, that's still in the conversation. I don't know what you want from me.
I don't know.
Her results obliterate Maple's.
We're not talking about results. We're not talking
about results.
No, that's not what this is. That's why we're not having this conversation, because you're talking like fucking Stango right now. Which is why I hate this.
I'm not. Because
you literally
whenever
are.
I try to talk because whenever I try to talk about results with Stango, he's like, "Oh, but Zetterburns don't count." No, we're not. I'm not talking like Stango because Zetterburns do count. I feel like I'm going crazy. Nurse used stun lock. That's true. That's true.
I can't do this today. Let's talk about the patch.
Okay. It's pretty good.
Let's talk about the patch. You go ahead. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
So we got a lot. Most notably, it was like a lot of mechanics were changed. I'm just gonna do a quick little scroll here for the people to see. Like, this is a lot for any of our video watchers. We're gonna go back to you guys looking at our lovely faces while I redo this. Because it's just too much on the screen. So I want to preface, actually, before we even go into any of the changes. If you remember, we talked last time about the whole patch situation, and I had mentioned, like, I really want, especially Trevor and Dan, to just sit down and be like, what do you guys, like, what's the vision? What are we experiencing?
Why we're doing what we're doing.
And it was so nice to have that and to hear, like, Dan echoing, like, exact complaints that I've made. And, like, it was so validating to be like, they fucking get it.
It was also funny to watch Trevor react to Dan saying them.
I don't know
if you saw that, but that was my focus.
Yeah.
I was like staring at Trevor's face every time Dan said something. You could tell if he agreed with it or not just by his face. So I think, but I think even the way that the conversation went, I think highlights kind of where their philosophy is with this kind of stuff.
Yep.
And I think when we've talked about, like, they want certain characters to be good. Or at the very least be strong. I think the way that they spoke about Zetterburn and Rano.
Oh, 100%. And it was just nice to just know.
To that idea that those are two characters that they're comfortable with being strong.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And it was just nice to just hear them say it genuinely.
Yeah. So then we don't have to fucking worry about it.
Yeah. Like the reality, they were like, you know what, we're not trying to kill Zetterburn. Like that's what it was. And but the changes they made were really good. And we'll get into those in a minute. But it was just, I just want to stress, like, this was so nice to have that like inside view. And this doesn't need to be a thing that happens every single month, but especially where it's like, this is a big change to the game. To just have it come out of their mouths and not a Word doc on a page with no reasoning behind it besides, like, to be blunt, a lot of the times when they put the reasoning, it's like clickbaity too, which I don't like. I just want them to just say it. Be like, this is what we're doing. This is targeting this problem. Like,
you know what I think the actual play was? The reason that they did this? I think they were trying to get in front of the floor hug reaction.
Oh, it was that and the Raster reaction. Oh, 100%.
Yeah,
oh, a million percent.
Get in front of both of those things.
This is softening the blow because they know both of those things, because all the not floor hug or all the floor hug, you know, likers or SSDI likers are going to be like, oh, I don't know about all that. And all the Rivals 1 players who have PTSD from Raster are like, oof, nope. I don't know about that. But let's just slap it together and let's just make it a big one. And you know what? I'm actually glad they did it. I'm glad they didn't chicken out on this and like just really embraced it. But let's talk about...
The game is different now.
Genuinely, the game is going to be different.
The game is different now.
So, to kind of preface, they talked about engine changes. They talked about changes directly for Crag, Raster, Rano, and Zetterburn. They made a little offhand comments a couple of times here and there for other character stuff, but these were like the direct characters that they spoke about, and like we'll go into the mechanics that are really big that they changed. And the most notable one is the entire floor hug system has been reworked. All moves are now auto floor huggable. What that means for anyone listening is before, to floor hug to SSDI, you would have to time your down press on the left stick or like to get it. And that's when you would like flash blue and get it. And some moves magically were auto floor huggable and some moves weren't. So it was really not conducive. For anyone listening, Blair is doing a demonstration on a GameCube controller on how to do this. Which is really cool. But what's interesting is in doing this, they are still maintaining the separation of floor hug and crouch cancel, which is good.
Yeah.
I like there's a distinction of like quick floor hug versus full crouch cancel. This is a big thing. And as they continue to balance this and address it more, this is a great direction, because the next thing that they did in relation to floor hug is knockdown threshold was universally lowered, which basically means it's way easier to knock somebody down who is floor hugging or crouch canceling now.
Yeah, and I think the implication of that, for people wondering what that's going to look like, is basically those instances where someone floor hugs your move and then gets to like punish you for it is going to decrease.
Yeah.
Because the percentage range where people are knocked down becomes sooner, which means that there's more like interaction as a result of that.
You also can get rewarded because now you can create what's called forced knockdown, where if you hit somebody and call them out for floor hugging with certain moves at certain percent thresholds, it'll immediately put them on the ground and create a tech chase, which is super good in this game.
The other aspect of this that I think people kind of are underestimating is now being able to floor hug tech has become a very important skill to have.
Yeah, arms attacking is cool, man. We're back. We're so back.
And I think the best example is like the counterplay for like Maple Dash attack.
Yep.
Right now is to floor hug tech it. You'll go through the second hit and you get a punish.
Yep.
That situation is now the counterplay for a bunch of moves.
Yep.
if you weren't good at that before, it's time to fucking get good at it. Sorry, but so, and Trevor kind of explained this a little bit.
Yes.
But now, if for some moves, if you want a punish off the back of a floor hug, you have to be able to tech, which brings back some of that like skill and timing window, and also means the implication if you miss a tech is really fucking bad. So, especially because they kept the floor hug lockouts, as far as I know, that they introduced in the previous patch. So there's still situations where you can't even do it at all.
But
all good.
We're not done with the floor hug changes. Next is strong attacks always send into knockdown if they are floor hugged, excluding certain specific things like cape or like long range strongs from fleet and stuff like that.
Like fleet.
But this is the big thing that is going to be even more impactful, because this is a scenario where teching is going to be really, really important, because a lot of strongs tend to have a like linear position in the way they work, or like a Dacus is going to be more impactful now, or our multi-hits. They're techable, you know, something like Olympia and stuff like that. And they kind of like tested this already. Fun fact, they've tested a lot of this kind of stuff like with Olympia attached directly. Her up strong was unfloor huggable.
Yeah.
I wonder why. Was like and it was like, well, I wonder why. But it's a multi-hit, and so it like the scoop would literally like pull you, and it's like you could try to floor, you could like the CC would proc, but it would just rip you off the ground. And I think this was really interesting. Like they were testing, I was like, that's crazy, because like none of the other strongs really worked that way. And it was something I noticed, and like I did like a whole stream talking about it at one point. And it's cool to see that it was like they liked the way that like the interactions that created, and are now leaning towards that being a thing to beat floor hug. Because oh my god, was it so lame to like forward strong somebody and get grabbed. Like that was the lamest shit in the game by far.
I think the other aspect of it is, I mean, as much as people might not want to admit it, this is a Zetterburn and Rano buff. And as much as we will talk about what happened to those characters, this change in particular with the strong attacks being a like anti-floor hug tool is more a buff for those two characters by far than anyone else in the game, by far. And so as much as they may have lost something, they definitely gained a little something as well.
There's one more character it's a huge buff for, actually. Edalus.
You gonna say Arcane or Edalus?
Well, Arcane already just beat floor hug because they were so strong it didn't matter. But Edalus is actually a big one, because one of the main reasons things like F strong didn't work a lot was because of how easy it was to floor hug, because of how easy it is to react to. So now you get a tech chase into it, you F strong somebody, you win that interaction now.
Well, I'm wondering if you can floor hug between the first and second hit and then tech.
I mean, if you get the tech, that's a big thing. But you never had to tech before, because that shit just didn't work.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Like that was the thing, right? And so now you have to tech it or not be there. And if like it gives them more agency where like they can use it at lower percents to put on a ton of percent on you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that'll be really interesting.
Yeah. I think before we get into like too heavy like implications of this, I do think Edalus gets hit by this in a bit of a negative way. By way of making his dash attack a lot easier to play around.
Yeah, that's an immediate hit to that, 100%. Yeah. This is the it was. I'm not surprised in any capacity. I won't be surprised if they adjust it to be stronger. Or like maybe they'll finally buff the hitbox, because now you can reliably floor hug it. But we have one last change to floor hug before we get into stuff like that, and that is, whenever you floor hug, whenever you do it, you will take 25% more damage. So, if you successfully floor hug, you take more damage. Like if you floor hug a move, you take more damage, 25% more of like what you would take. So like
if you were taking 10%, you would take 12.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, no,
We can do math.
I had someone message me and be like, "You take 25%." I was like, "No." No. Now it's really funny. I said this on my initial reaction. You didn't get to see this. This is a suggestion that Bio pitched to me all the way back in November. Like, unironically, was like, you should take like 25 or 50% more damage when you get hit for hugging. And I was like, that's crazy. He popped off so hard in my chat when this was said by Trevor. It was insane. Because this was like one of those like, oh, haha, this is funny. Like, there's no way they would ever do that, right? It's so smart, actually.
No, okay. I'm glad you said that because I thought I was going to have to go off. But when I saw them say this, like when I kind of heard what they were doing, I was like, okay, that's great. But like, I don't know if this is enough to make the game not frustrating. As soon as they said this change, I popped off in my living room. I was like, okay, it's good. It has a chance to be fine.
Yep.
I think people underestimate like the little implications that this change has in terms of making the counterplay feel better. And they talked about it a little bit on stream, but like one of the disadvantages of floor hugging is that you still take damage.
Yep.
The problem was I'll take 5% if I get to kill you.
If I get to kill you. Yeah. That was like,
but
you remember what I told you was the technique? Like, did I ever tell you that?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm force burn at under 30%. I'm going to run at you and mash down strong.
Yeah,
and it's going to win.
But I think now that there's like this implication of, okay, you're taking more damage plus the threshold for knockdown is earlier. The amount of times you're going to be able to floor hug certain moves is lower. Right? And so it presumably is going to be less frustrating because the more that people rely on it at lower percents, the less they'll be able to continually rely on it.
Yeah.
So it feels like you're chipping away at it a degree more than you were before. So I think this change in particular is really good. I think it's really smart. Is it exactly what I would have done? Probably not. But I think that it gets at the idea in the right way, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Where it's like, because this threshold's lower, because you're taking more damage, you progress out of it quicker. It's less frustrating, but also it's more consistent. And so I think across the board, and I know we had this conversation where we said, make floor hugging consistent or fucking remove it, right? Like it's one of the two. The weird middle ground that they had it in sucked. And so they decided to go the direction of making it more consistent. Fine. I think that this change in conjunction with that is going to make it less frustrating to deal with. Yeah.
No, I think talking about the way floor hugging and like everything was before, I think the way Cake Assault described it was always the best. Where like at percent thresholds, you unlock the ability to use moves. And like that was so unfun because certain characters were really bad at doing that. Like the biggest example of that was Raster, right? Where it's like, at this percent, I'm worrying about this moves, and this percent now, this move now works, and now at this percent, this move stops working again for some reason, and it was just this weird, disgusting nuance, and even like other weird ones, like and then the flip side, right, of like Maple's moves always worked. It didn't really matter, right? And it was just like, it was just this weird flip-flop where they wasn't consistent with the way they did it, and I think this is a great direction of just like, you just get to speed run the thing. If you're gonna floor hug war with each other, you're both taking way more percent. And rather than just like making every move do more percent, it is innately attached to if you are using the mechanic aggressively, essentially. Which I really like.
And it is like, it's like if you just want to do it, fuck it, do it to each other. You'll both end up at 60, and then you can start playing the game. Like, fine. If that's how we want to do it, then fuck it.
I think it's really funny though that if at low percent you floor hug, I think it's Crag F smash, you take like 32. I think that's hilarious.
Honestly, deserved.
It's so deserved. Like, I mean, I just poof into force knockdown, and you're like, whoa.
I think people are gonna have to get used to not just trying to floor hug everything at every percent. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
Because if you're trying to floor hug stuff at like 90, 100 now, you're gonna just be taking damage for no fucking reason.
Yeah, so I
like it in that regard because it makes it more deliberate, right? Like you're doing it on purpose instead of doing it all the time just because it's good.
Yeah, exactly. Like that was really a big thing. And especially like it makes you want to be more careful because I wonder the way certain moves are kind of weird, especially multi-hits, where you might end up tacking on a ton of percent, getting hit by like a multi-hit trying to floor hug. And if those mid-high percents, it might push you past the threshold and then knock you down. And it's like stuff like that, I think is going to be really interesting when we get to like the nuanced side of it, where it's like from this percent onwards, I can't challenge this move with floor hug. I have to like navigate this problem more creatively now. And I think that is way, way more interesting.
And I think too, like, because it's more consistent, you can more reliably expect people to floor hug.
Yeah.
Especially once you reach a certain level. And I think this is like getting into the really metagame side of it. But because the floor hug is more consistent, you're not playing this weird reaction game where you're like, okay, did they floor hug or didn't they floor hug? And I have to react based on that.
Yeah.
Instead, you can be like, okay, because it's easier, people, let's say at 50, are probably going to pretty reliably floor hug this, which means I can move forward in my mental stack and just set up the tech chase.
No, this
right?
was
And so you're doing less kind of like mental math for yourself.
Yeah.
Because people are still going to floor hug, right? Like the damage, but like the damage, extra damage taken is not enough to be like, I'm never going to floor hug. Right? Floor hugging jabs and floor hugging at low percents is still going to be good.
Exactly.
But at least you can expect it at this point and you know what game you're playing, which I think to a degree is less frustrating than just playing the 50-50.
Yeah, the thing, I've gotten this complaint from a lot of people that are good at this game. I'm obviously not going to specify, but who do not come from specifically PM, where it's like there is a certain threshold of player skill in this game where it's like, boom, they are always fucking pressing down. Anytime they think they're gonna get hit, they're pressing down. And even like, to give you a frame reference, just the other day, someone came into my chat and was like, Zeke, when do you like, how do you think about floor hugging? Like, I'm still struggling to learn it. And
always.
Me, and then like Asashi and like a couple other people in chat, I literally was like, dude, if I think I'm gonna get hit, I literally just mash down. There's no nuance past that.
There's no reason not to.
Now this completely like adds like a more intentional layer to it, and there's like a little bit more risk, and especially like against certain characters, it like there's more nuance now, which I really like. And it seems like they're really starting to just address it as a whole, that they're just the fact that they're making that Strongs beat them now, like it's just like this is another layer that's really, really interesting. And sure, it buffs like Zetter and Raster and fucking Rano and stuff like that and all that, but I think that's okay because it overall creates like a healthier interaction with like the game's engine, and it gives everybody access to it. Literally, like there is a point like for me as someone who has fucked up hands, where like a lot of times I'll be playing in bracket or practicing, and there's a point where I'm like, I cannot physically keep doing this mash down thing. I literally just can't do it. My thumb doesn't have the endurance to do that. And oh my god, the moment they said auto floor huggable, I was just like, we're so back. This is so much easier now.
Yeah, I think the real test is going to be once we get our hands on it, seeing when the new tumble windows are.
Yes, that's going to be what matters.
And seeing how viable it is to like consistently punish certain moves if you get the tech. Because I think what the risk of this is, and I know we've said a lot of positives about it, what the risk is if you can still punish people reliably after teching at like 40 to 60%, we're just back in the same hellhole that we were before, and it just has an execution barrier of a tech behind it.
Yeah.
And is that something that we're interested in? No, we're not.
Yeah.
And so we're going to have to see how this like new knockback threshold sets it up. And I think in situations where we maybe get to like 40, 50, 60, maybe the knockdown will be enough that it'll push you far enough away that once you tech, you have to like commit to something longer range. So there's like a dash in there or something like that. You don't just get a free punish. But I think if everything functions like an easier version of teching Maple dash attack into a punish, it's gonna go back to sucking.
I think it's really contextual to the moves.
I
think it's really contextual to the moves because something like Maple dash attack, where it's like there is a wide gap, right? Like they want to get away from, like, I'll give you a very specific example of something that they're adjusting. that like they are obviously keeping their eye on. One of the changes they nerfed was Krag's up tilt, like the hitboxes, how fast it is, like all that stuff, how active it is, right? And it's because if you teched Krag up tilt, he was literally positive before. Like he was positive. They want you to be allowed to tech and punish him. Like that's the thing.
I know we had that conversation on the podcast where I'm like, Krag up tilt is the one move in the game that should be punishable by floor hug, and it's not. It's fucking
it's just
bizarre.
Not. It's just fucking not. And it's like, it's really weird and like stuff like that. But it's like, this is obviously something that they're targeting. And I think like there's a right way to go about it. I think if the answer is like auto floor hug tech in place to a lot of like multi-hit approaches, that's kind of not fun. But I will say, I don't think that there are many of those things that exist like that. Where it's like actually contextually available. I think Maple Dash is a really specific example, and that's because that move is horseshit, and so it needs a fatal flaw, or she is uncontestably the best character in the game because she's the biggest burst rate, the fastest character, blah blah blah. And I think like that being like a fatal flaw is totally fine, right?
No, but I think it is too, but I also think we have to contextualize how much easier that is to do now. But that's like the point, Maple Dash attack against certain players is just going to be a no-go.
Yeah, but the question is going to be, right, it's going to be that threshold of like, when does it not do that? Because if what it is instead of getting punished, you get the arms attack and like get thrown away from Maple.
No, that's what I mean. Yeah.
I think that's fine because then you can't punish it.
Totally good.
And I think that's cool. But I think there are
that's the point I was trying to make earlier.
No. I'm just putting it to words to make
it coming
work.
back.
Like, we're coming back. We're full circling it where it's like, I think it's like totally fine if it's like, that is, I think if teching is the barrier to I don't die or I don't get God comboed, I think that's fine. Because that's the same barrier that exists with getting edgeguard. And a whole part of this game is, can you fight on the wall effectively? It is by design. And they're even nerfing to some recoveries because of how good it's been, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But like, that's the thing, is like they want the barrier to be teching. That's why they made teching harder too. Like a couple patches ago, where they made it so that you have to tech. Oh God, is it before hit pause? I don't remember exactly what state it is now.
I don't remember. But
I don't remember the exact step it is, but they made it harder, and a lot of times you have to tech like just before you get hit now, instead of like during the hit lag where you could tech before.
Yeah. I think you're spot on with it. I think we'll have to see how it plays when we get our hands on it. And I'm sure they've been playing around with it too. But if it ends up that like floor hug tech puts you back in neutral, I think that's a thumbs up for me.
Yes.
If floor hug tech puts you in advantage, that's a thumbs down for me.
I think
so we're gonna have to see how that plays
out. Yeah. As long as it doesn't affect like a wide range of moves. If it's like Maple Dash Attack, Krag up tilt, and like 3 other moves, I think that's fine. Because then it's like you're rewarded for game knowledge, right? But if it's like every move you're just fishing for floor hugging and teching, it's like, that's bad. You're absolutely correct. Yeah. So we'll have to get our hands on it and see. But I think the direction that they went with it, giving the extra damage, lowering the threshold, all of that stuff is, if they were going to bring auto floor hugging back, which we talked about, they have to. Or they get rid of it. This was the way to go about it. So. We'll get our hands on it and see. Yeah, I'm excited.
I think is where I'm at with that.
Let's talk about a fun change. They added in teeter animations. So I actually didn't know this.
Yeah, I didn't either.
I didn't know specifically that teeter was in the game. I actually didn't know that because there was no animation. I just had no idea. And so I was popping off and everyone was like, dude, it's in the game. And I'm like, really? Like, it's just cool to like have a proper visual that is more conducive to like the play experience, because I genuinely I have like 700-800 hours. I had no idea.
When they have another kind of like flare animation that they said coming, they didn't reveal what it was.
Oh, I didn't catch that.
Oh, you didn't catch that? They said they have another animation, like kind of like a flare thing, like teeter, coming into the game. They didn't say what it was.
I wonder if it's going to be getting parried animations. So in Rivals 1,
cool.
In Rivals 1, certain specific things getting parried had funny animations. What an example is, Rano had a custom animation when his tongue got parried, where he's like, whoa, like all dizzy and stuff. I hope they do stuff like that. I think that would
I
be
imagine
really
it's
cool.
Probably something like that. I was thinking like it might be like a shield drop specific animation or like a more unique roll or spot dodge animation for some characters.
I think
but
roll would be good.
I think you're probably right about the getting parried animation is probably what it is.
I think roll needs a sound effect. Like a easier to hear sound effect. That's one that I've like had a few people complain to me about, because obviously rolling's not like amazing, but like some characters it's kind of fucking annoying. Like when Lox rolls, it's kind of fucking annoying. When Edalus rolls like on ice, it's kind of annoying. Like it's good and it's intentionally good, but I think having like a sound cue for that would be really cool. For the people that don't know, do you want to explain what a teeter is?
Yeah, I mean, like teeter is just when you kind of place your character right on the ledge.
Or the edge of a platform.
Or the edge of a platform without going off. I don't know what more there is to it than that. It's just when you walk up right to the ledge right before you go off, you kind of get like stuck, quote unquote, on the ledge to prevent you from just running off the stage automatically. And that's like what the teeter placement is.
Yep. There's lots of really cool little hacks and fun ways to act out of teeter, especially like creative ways to grab ledge that have existed in prior Smash games and things like that. So I think it'll be really fun to like have that visual indicator that you've got it so that you can use that tech. Because like I said, it's like I didn't even know it was in the game. I had no clue.
Well,
I just assumed
and
it wasn't.
The other aspect of it is you're as close to the ledge as possible.
Exactly.
If that is like what you care about.
Yep, exactly.
So the other thing that they changed kind of universally, and this is, again, something that I've been asking for, is they made wave dash 8 frames instead of 10.
Yeah, well, so wave land specifically is 10 frames. Wave dash would include your jump squat, just so you know.
Yes.
Just to specify for the listeners. So wave land, if you did a perfect wave land, would be 10 frames before you could act. It is now 2 frames less, except when you try to grab out of it. Then it is still 10. And this is specifically to prevent this little creature
wacky
next to me over here from doing waveland grab on a plat unreactably.
What do you mean?
Yeah, no, and that is something that Trevor specifically stated, which I'm really happy about, because that was my concern. And so I'm really happy they found a way to do this, where there's like a grab lockout essentially during that moment. It's a really, really fascinating avenue to take. I really like this direction, and it'll just add more. I don't know the word.
It's more fluid, right?
It's more fluid. Yeah,
thing,
yeah.
Right?
There's less you getting stuck. Yeah.
You don't think 2 frames makes a difference, but when it's on something as common as like wave dashing and wave landing, and they did specify. It is 2 frames off your normal wave dash as well.
Yeah, but what I mean is like we would count the
like
the
it
jump
also
squat.
includes the jump squat. But it is still 2 frames off.
Yes.
So it also means in situations where you weren't able to get punishes before, you now potentially can with a wave dash out of shield. So it also changes the calculus in terms of like what is safe on shield, especially what is safe on shield when spaced.
Yep.
Kind of bad news for Claren, but such is life.
Yeah, get fucked.
And,
I'll tell my shield again and see what happens now. See what happens now. I'm
we
cooking
got 2 extra
now.
frames to make it work.
I'm wave dashing out, and I'm in front of you. I'm in front of you now.
It also means when you're like wave dashing around the stage or retreating to a platform with a wave dash, you're more active. And so even in situations where, let's say you like dash up, wave dash back, wave dash forward, that's 4 frames off of what you were doing.
Yep.
Right? Or let's wave land on a platform, that's 4 frames. Oh my God, is my camera just died?
Your internet is cutting out or something. I think you lagged there for a second.
Oh my God.
Let me we're gonna do a little pause here, everybody, real quick.
That's a beautiful still of my face.
What a great still. Yeah.
Oh
you might
my God.
rejoin me rejoin the funny old link that I sent you. Oh, wait, you're good.
Am I back?
You're back. Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, don't look at me ever again. And
everybody frame that photo, put it on your fridge.
Yeah, don't do that, actually, please.
Perfect. But no, I think you're absolutely right that it really adds more flow to the game. And one of the cool things that they're adding to pair with this is shield dropping doesn't stop your momentum at all. So you keep all your running momentum from running shield, which means you get to fucking Bobby drop. You get to fucking Bobby drop like melee, and the fact that you can do that while shield dropping diagonal now. Oh, I'm gonna mix you motherfuckers. I'm gonna go forward and do woo woo. I'm
Everyone's
so excited
about this, but me.
Yeah. Run up shield at me under plat. See what happens. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
You guys didn't play HDR like I did when this was.
Well, yeah, because those in that game, characters could drop with -4 nairs and kill you. That's not gonna happen here. It's fine. It's fine.
They can also do it out of Waveland, which you can't do.
Yeah.
In this game.
Yeah.
But I definitely, when they said that, I had a little bit of PTSD from HDR Marth wave landing on a platform and then rocket shipping across the stage. So I think the other interesting thing is you have to be in run to make it happen, which means the window for doing this for characters like Forsburn and Claren is actually quite small because their initial dashes are so long.
That's correct. Yep.
So it's gonna work differently on like a character to character basis. I think the main concern is Rano, who's obviously going to be able to let it rip pretty quickly as he enters run very fast, and then also gets a huge grounded speed bonus from how fast he is. So some additional threat range for Rano off the platform. Why the fuck not?
But you know who it buffs too?
Sorry?
You want to know who else it buffs?
Who?
So they nerfed, and we'll get to it. They nerfed Raster, his dash.
Oh yeah, it's shorter.
And it's shorter now, which means that he enters run faster, which means he can do this in slip, which is really cool.
That's so gonna be fun to get hit with a nuclear up air from way across the screen.
No, you're gonna get truth nuked. He's gonna drop down forward air up tilt you, and you're gonna get truth nuked.
God, thank God! I can't wait. Yeah. Either way, I think this will be cool. It's not going to be as good as it was in HDR, which thank God. You don't want to know what that was like.
Oh, I can only imagine.
I promise you, like, watch Ganon plat boost nair,
evil character,
and your fucking life is over. Yeah. Like, it's so bad.
I'm actually so happy we don't have plat boosting in this game, like in the way that it was in like Rivals 1, where you would
HDR,
you would just fly. It's funny, some of the Rivals 1 players still have like the habit of like doing it, and I always poke fun. I'm like, oh, Rivals 1 player, huh? You're just running off, you're just wave landing and nairing like it does something. That's really cool.
Yeah. So I think it'll be a fun change. I don't think it's going to be too impactful. I think if characters figure out how to use it, it's probably going to be Rano and Raster are going to get the most value.
I agree.
Off of it, but I think otherwise it'll be pretty niche. And I'm wondering if Claren and Forsburn can even do it very reliably.
Who is it? Someone who already moves like crazy, like a player who would be really slippery on the plats was a Soul Rifle. And my man was just doing this vanilla before. I'm curious to see what his movement's gonna look like now doing that. Because he literally, we reached out to him a couple of us and we're like, dude, what are your inputs on plat? Like, how do you move like that? And he just like typed it out and we were like, I have no idea how to do this. Like, it was like, I did it like once and I was like, this kid see something that I don't. But it's cool. It's cool. So I'm interested to see like players like that kind of get some opportunities.
Yes.
But those are all the okay, there's two other like big changes like mechanically or game wide that I want to go over quickly. Number one, they shrunk the side blast zones on Fire Capital. Amen. Awesome. Yeah. Good direction. And then
there's
big one.
No notes on that one. This is a nightmare.
I'm so fucking happy. They finally lowered the fucking ceiling on Godai, which means that diagonal DI to the corner no longer lets people live till 170 on Godai, because that was miserable to play a starter where nobody died.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God.
Good changes. I think across the board, both of those are fine. Yep. I think both of them were overdue. 100%. I don't really actually have much to say about those other than they're just good changes.
I will actually click the Godai stage. That isn't me camping somebody now. That's literally it. That's what that means.
I just like Godai, so if more people will go to it, then
yeah. I mean, it's a good stage. It's just the ceiling. Nobody died. It was the Godai to no die. That's what it was. That was the bit.
Godai to no die.
That's what you do. But that was cool. And then they didn't go over this a ton, but wall jumps were all like different heights before, and they've now like adjusted them to be more similar, or like nerfed a bunch of them.
Yeah, they're not exactly the same still, but they said that I think it was Edalus and Fleet in particular got better.
Yes, that's
and
crazy.
Then, or Kane, Maple, Zetterburn, and a couple others got worse. So I think they just like took the bounds of it and squeezed it a little closer together.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know how big the implications of this are. It's going to be something you kind of get your hands on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't imagine it's going to be too crazy.
Anything that makes it so Crag doesn't feel like he has 7 jumps is a win for me. If that makes it so he has 5, I'm cool with that. That's
Don't
progress.
Get me started about the Craig nerfs.
Yeah.
Don't get me started. Yeah. We'll get there.
But, you want to talk about the funny Zetterburn guy? I know you were really excited about talking about the Zetterburn guy.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm impressed. Genuinely.
Yeah.
With the direction they took this. Ooh. And I don't know if they've... Oh, go ahead.
I want to preface, because Trevor did say this. All the notes that we're about to read right now, this does not include everything. This is just what they were ready to show off today. 100%. And I think that is cool. And like, that's okay. Yeah. So there is like...
He said this is all the big stuff.
I will say this. There is something missing on this list, and they kind of did it as a bit that it's not mentioned here. And you'll probably be able to figure it out as you listen. I can, under good faith, believe that there's something related to this on the actual patch notes. But anyway, go ahead. You can start.
Yeah. I mean, whether something happened to Fair or Down Air, who's to say? Who's to say? Yeah, not me. We'll see. But I kind of what I was saying was like, I'm impressed. And I feel like they were listening to me or listening to us
I talk hope about so. This. Yeah.
Because every change they made is something that one of us has suggested over the course of the last couple episodes.
Yeah.
In terms of like the Nair change, in terms of the shine change, in terms of the airspeed change, like all of these are things that we talked about implementing.
Yep.
To just make him feel more fair, like the back air change is one as well. Yeah. The down B change, the up B change, like all of it is stuff that we talked about.
I want to talk about back air because they kind of joked about it where they're like, oh, but like it can kill you now. And I'm like, I'm okay with that. Like I'm actually okay with like the move killing me for DIing. Like that's make a move that kills instead of that combos forever. I think that is so much more interesting than being like, oh boy, I'm getting hit at 130 in combo and now I'm
dead.
But it's also like if you do the reverse hit and mix their DI, you can still get it. And it's like that's the way it should work because that creates this like skill element instead of just the move. Always fucking combos basically forever, unless you hit you hit this one hit in a certain way and drift a certain way, and it's just like oh my god. So and the fact that it's like obviously the way that back air is like adjusted to have way more knockback growth essentially and hit out more naturally then it would naturally become a tool to edge guard, which encourages Zetterburn to not just sit at the ledge and pick his nose and wait for you to come back, because that was something people were getting pissed about too, where he would just sit there and F tilt and down tilt and grab the ledge and nair off the ledge and back air off the ledge, and it's like now it's like oh go out now it makes the player want to go and interact with you off stage.
There's at least some reward for it.
Exactly.
And so for people who might just be listening, I can go through the changes really quick. Mm-hmm. But Zetterburn got reduced speed on horizontal jump and grounded horizontal jump. Shine is a bit smaller.
Shine is significantly smaller.
Yeah, it's a decent bit smaller. They shrunk the hitbox on neutral air, which is also a pretty decent bit smaller. Back air has more knockback and will send more outward if you DI away.
Real quick.
Up special is faster at the beginning, but slows down over time.
We missed one, actually. It's not on here. This was one of the notes that they mentioned that is directly towards shine, which is the whole undershine situation, where you hit somebody with the top of shine.
Yeah, it's better now.
Reworked. Well, not exactly. Because it won't be really broken at super high percent. And I'll explain this. They basically made it so like the omnidirectional moves that would hit like that. So that being shine and combust had a like modifier essentially set for like the top third or whatever it was, where it would just like not. It would just like have like a fixed knockback basically. So it was like primarily this was done so that you didn't get combust rested off the top of the screen initially. I would assume that when he first was added to the game in beta, he probably was able to do that, and they were like, I don't think that's a good idea. But as the game has developed and confirms have been found more, that it's like, you know what, he can have that. Sure. As well as they've adjusted him, like Forsman, a lot, right? But they've definitely seen that, like, the setups into Undershine, you know, I think that it's like at low percent it comboing, cool, you get rewarded for it, but it'll still like hit at an angle, right? Because before it would just hit you nowhere, basically, right?
Yeah.
And now it has like, it works like the rest of it. That means like you can actually DI it now. Because that was the problem also, is like because of the way it would hit you, you just couldn't DI it.
Yeah.
It was just if the Zetterburn placed the shine here, even at 150%, you fucking died. And it was like, now, in theory, based on the way Trevor explained it, I believe it was Trevor who explained it. It should not work. And so, like, you might get, you know, Undershine juggled at like 50 and be like, cool, you know, they do a combo, right? But you won't get Undershined when landing at 150 and now just auto lose. And I think that is addressing the problem, because it lets him do the cool, fun thing that is cool and fun and high skill, but is interactable and has like a threshold of where it stops being like uninteractable, essentially.
Yeah, I think that'll end up being fine. And I don't think it'll end up being the biggest change, but I do think it's just one of those things that's like nice for the game feel. Yeah. And in terms of just like not getting cheesed over and over.
Yeah. Well, I will say there are definitely matchups where it's like you do down throw at this percent and it's true into Undershine and then they die because it's true. Like that could potentially not work now, which is fingers crossed. Like that's the case.
So then the other changes are up special is faster at the beginning, but slows down over time.
How do you feel about that? Because I want to talk about that one actually. And
also goes less far.
Yeah.
There's two things about that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's fine. Honestly, I think during the initial hits of special, like when he's going for that like diagonal down to like snap the ledge, you weren't hitting him anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I don't mind that being like faster in terms of just, it's not even faster in terms of startup, it's just faster in terms of like acceleration right at the very start.
Yep.
And I think it gives you a little bit more of a window to punish him once he gets all the way up.
Yeah.
I don't think it's like a huge difference, but I think it'll be like that little consistency bonus where it's not going to feel impossible to do anymore.
Yeah.
And I think that's what they were targeting with like a lot of the changes, even with the down B ones as well. Just like enough to make it not feel like it's not doable.
Yeah. I think the way they did it is really interesting. I had mentioned this in my like immediate reaction. I was like, this will make it easier to like visually parse like the direction he's going. And because it's not moving at that full speed that it would like in current live patch, it will help remove that like ambiguity of like how far is he actually going, because like that little hop at the end. And now that it's like it's naturally shorter and it's slower, you can like actually see it. And like when they showcased it and just like did it a few times, I was like, okay, like actually it's just enough that it's like, it's not so bad that like anyone could hit that, but it's like when he's coming that max distance and just up being over and over and over, you can see it now. I think that is really, really nice.
I think the other aspect of it too is like before on the current patch, he goes like a little farther than you think he's going to.
Yep, because that
and
little
I don't know
boost at the
why
end.
It's like that, but yeah.
Oh, that's a feature.
It seems like it seems like they removed that is what I'm saying.
I think that I think what it is that he's keeping it, but because he doesn't move so fast, it's not like a jarring like, oh, he made it on the stage. Like,
yeah,
oopsies, I'm back on. And then he grabs you and you're like, oh what?
Yeah, so I think it's a little consistency piece that's going to make sure his recoveries aren't as free.
Yep.
And I think the other things that they hit with his down B, if he doesn't touch the stage, the jump comes back progressively longer.
Or let's be more specific. So the way down B works, for people that don't know, the down special is when he does the dunk, X amount of frames, I forget the exact number, he would have to travel X amount of frames, then he would get the double jump back. But now the way it'll work is anytime you hit him back off without touching the stage, that number increases for him to be able to get that double jump back. So he can always get it back, but it will be harder and harder. And this is essentially akin to like the Olympia down special nerf, where it just gets worse over and over.
Yeah. Yeah, and then they also made the down B cancel a little bit more vulnerable.
Yes.
His tail has a hurt box now. He goes a little bit higher, which means the punish is a little bit easier. The grab box is not as high above him as it used to be. And it doesn't roll as far when it hits the ground. So a bunch of like, again, small but targeted nerfs to how easy and safe that move was to use that aren't huge in their own right, but like as a collective become little consistency pieces for edge guarding him. So I think the direction that they went with Zetterburn here is pretty good.
Yeah, very happy.
But they have done more, and may they do more potentially.
Yeah.
But in terms of like hitting the stuff that was just really frustrating, I think they did a good job in terms of making it be like, okay, this character can be top tier without just feeling like horseshit every time you interact with him.
I saw a lot of people like, obviously the move missing here is like forward air. That's like the elephant in the room, right? But it's like the air drift is essentially nerfing that, especially with like confirms into it, and it nerfs
the burst range out of it too. Yep.
And 2, I would rather get retreating forward air, because that makes sense, than get retreating nared and then comboed into forward air, because that's what happens on live right now.
I would rather you approach with forward air than with your disjointed fucking neutral air.
Exactly. Yep.
Genuinely.
Exactly. And I think like this is a great step in the right direction, and will help them continue to evaluate if anything else does need to be done like dramatically. Because right now, this sounds really good. I am happy with this. I'm excited to not only play against this and like try edge guarding him and stuff, but also I want to try it out myself and click buttons with Zetterburn and see what it feels like, because I think that's important too.
Well, and he'll still be good. I think that's the important thing. Yep. This is not enough to knock him out of top 5. Not even close. So
no. I think if anything does that, it's the engine changes.
That,
it's the engine changes that could affect that.
I think the engine changes are good for him too. Though.
Oh no, but that's the thing, right? It would have to be yeah,
the engine changes are good for him, right? Like he is a character that will always benefit from the engine changes the way that they've been going with them. So as much as this seems like a lot, Zetterburn is still within the top 5. He may still be within the top 3. When combined with what these engine changes look like, because they do benefit him.
Oh, yeah.
And so I think it's good from the direction of, again, they hit the frustrating stuff while still allowing him to be good, and you can kind of evaluate from there.
Yeah, I won't say who, but there was a really funny thing, a trend that I've noticed that I think you'll get a kick out of. There were some beta testers who I noticed grabbing clips, especially during Zeeklies. And there was a trend of something very specific that I noticed that certain people were getting, which was like shine confirms, where it's like the edge of shine and like eyeing it correctly, but not floor hugging it, and still like dying. And not even like under shine, but like getting comboed because of just how large shine was. And I was just like, oh, I'm glad that was productive. Yeah. I'm glad that was productive. And like, I think that's really cool, because it just goes to show that it's like the devs are listening, that people in beta are obviously looking at these things, and I'm sure have mentioned these things for many months now and things, and lots of stuff took time. RCS was a priority, and getting the new characters out was a priority, and all that stuff. And so now that we're kind of...
Well, and they said too, like a chunk of this has been ready since Olympia came out, and they didn't want to drop all that at the same time. And yeah, and
I think like this is fine. I'm happy with this, and I'm glad that like Olympia got addressed too, like so quickly. Like I'm very happy with this, and I'm genuinely excited to play next week.
Yeah, definitely. And I think I kept telling people this, but I think Olympia is the blueprint.
Yes.
And I know some people don't agree with this, and people will say Fleet's the blueprint, and I'm like, fuck you.
No, Fleet was the heavy hand, where they were like, okay, we got to be better about this.
No, people are telling me Fleet's the fucking, like, current Fleet is the blueprint for where they want characters to be strength-wise.
Oh.
And in my head, I'm like, it's Olympia, man. Like, it feels like Olympia has something she's great at, has something she's bad at, and is like enjoyable to press buttons with.
I want to know what
I think that's the blueprint. I think it's the blueprint.
What
do you think it is?
I think it's that no character should feel worse than Fleet. That's literally it. If they feel worse than Fleet,
fine.
That's no. What I'm saying is, like, current fleet. If any character feels like they have like less agency or less opportunity or anything like that, that is an immediate red flag to be like, this character is not good enough. Because she's good. We're not going to pretend she's not, right? She's a good character, right? But it's like, when you compare what she does versus what live Zetterburn does, it's a different game.
Yeah, it's a
different game. It's not even close. There are certain scenarios where she's really strong, and that's obvious, but she has real flaws and real scenarios where her moves don't just work. And like this, and I think like that's something where like, as long as no character feels worse than this, where there's I think amongst the characters, she has more flaws than like the best characters. Obviously, you know, things like recovery and things like the wide range of like when her like kill confirms like work, right? Like things like that. I think it's like that is like the lowest point we can go. Because anything less than that, it's like, oh, there's no point in clicking this character because there's no way I can keep up.
starts feeling bad.
Yeah, exactly. That's the way I look at it. I think that is like the lowest point of like good that we can go, because she's good. Everyone in this game is good. That's like the crazy part about it.
Okay, so do we want to move on to Toronto?
Yeah,
and the changes that he got.
Yeah,
I can list them. He did get thick. I can list them off really quick, and then we can kind of go through them.
Yeah, go for it.
So yeah, he got thicker hurt boxes across the board, and basically what this just looks like is his hurt box didn't get like larger in terms of length, but in terms of width. So a lot of the time where like he might be sneaking between moves because he was skinny, and having that kind of like ZSS factor that she has in Ultimate is going to be less common. And he's going to get hit more times than you expect. So I think that's really great. He has a slower run speed, not slower initial dash, but slower run speed. He can no longer fast fall during needles. He can only bubble once per airtime. Bubble can no longer capture players for 30 seconds after you hit the bubble. Up tilt got more knockback growth. Less base knockback, more scaling.
Yes.
And a couple more recovery frames, and then Upstrong got a couple more recovery frames.
Yep. I mean, the big elephant in the room
30 frames, not seconds. Yeah, that was fucking crazy. Not 30 seconds. Sorry.
the biggest ones that I think we'll talk about. Oh, they didn't mention up B got nerfed also.
Should be 30 seconds. Yeah.
They nerfed the hitboxes on Rising Up Special for Rano.
Yes, and they also nerfed the horizontal distance.
Horizontal distance, yes. Those are that is the totality. Number one, let's just talk about needles. I had this conversation immediately with like a handful of people as this happened, when the stream was done, where people were like, why did they not just make it into Rivals 1 needles? And I want to explain this like very clearly, because a lot of people have like asked my opinion on like what, like, is this a good idea? Like, would I want them to do that? For anyone that doesn't know, the way it works is you get less landing lag on needle for doing charge needle. If we go that direction and keep falling needle in the game, then it will just encourage Rano to always run away and get full charge needle and then play with you. And while characters can catch him, he's really good at not getting caught. That's the entire design of his kit, is that he's really good at being like, don't touch me, and swatting you away, and then comboing you, and grabbing you, and all of that. And pairing that with while running away, he can throw needle at you, is really fucking annoying. And at the end of the day, like, a falling projectile that is unreactable to whether they do it or don't creates an uninteractive, unfun scenario to experience for both players. Because while it's fun to like do the nuance of like shield and hitting shield and baiting and pressuring, this removes that completely for both players, because it's just this unreactable, just gotcha, whether you do it or don't, and you do it and you cancel and you grab it, or you do it into +1 forward air, like like it just created this nightmare. And so completely removing the falling, like the fast fall part of needle, makes it a commitment. And while you can throw a couple needles and charge it and do all that stuff, there's no ambiguity to what he does when he jumps and begins the charging of needles. It removes that entire mini game from his game plan now. And also, the other thing that was frustrating that they touched on specifically, which I'm really glad they mentioned, was when he jumps, not even when he's like on plat and doing it, right? When he just like jumps, him being able to fast fall made it hard to know the angle where you could enter and challenge him because he could fast fall and change that height. And that was really fucking annoying. Again, unreactable and required like a read to like interact to even get closer than mid-range from him. Like that is not fun. And like the biggest thing that they've been doing as the patches have gone on is to remove these like uninteractive, unfun things. And we've even seen players who play Rano who are like, dude, I don't want to fucking sit here and needle camp blocks, dude. It's not fun to do this. Am I gonna do it?
But yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna do it because I have to, but it's like it's not fun to feel like I have to do this. And it makes it that be less, which I'm really happy they're addressing.
I think a move like Needles is strong by design.
Yes.
I think there's no way to make it not strong. No. Every iteration that Sheik has ever had it's been strong.
Yeah.
There's no way to make it not strong. It's just, it's a good move and that's how it is. And it'll continue to be a good move.
Oh, yeah.
But I think you're right in the regards of it removes the ambiguity, makes it being safe a little bit more challenging, and also just like takes a little bit of the mental stack off of you in terms of like, okay, if he's going to commit to this, I can go fucking get him.
Yep.
As opposed to just watching him ruin your day on a crazy like 50-50 mix up all from mid screen all the time.
Yep.
Exactly. So do I think this like totally fixes the problem with Needle being broken and like frustrating to play against? No, of course it doesn't. But I don't think there's a way to do that without removing it. So I think this is the step in the right direction. At the very least, he has to commit to something if he wants to do it.
Yeah, the big thing is like it helps make like the whole mini game of him landing on you directly with Needle. Sure, it's still like no lag, right? But it's telegraphed and the timing is like set for how he's gonna do it now. So there isn't this whole like, whoa, is he gonna do it or not? Like, how fast is he gonna do it? What's the time? All that is just gone. It's he's coming down and he's holding Needle and he's throwing the Needle and there's no fast fall. There's just none of that. And like, God, you're exactly right. It's just a step in the right direction. And if it continues to really be an issue still, then they add landing lag. And then we're done, or they make total frames in the air, and then we're done, and it's just like and we're good. But this lets them continue to like monitor it because this is a huge frustration point, especially online. And the majority of people playing this game are playing online. And once you are having to play this game in above 5 rollback and having 3 input delay, your ass ain't parsing or reacting to that shit. And I've seen many a good player be like, I don't even want to fucking play right now because every Rano I play is just Needle boosting at me and Needle fairing my shield, and they're just teleporting on my screen.
What do you do about it? Yeah.
And it's just not interactive at all.
Yeah. I think the other changes, again, it's mostly quality of life stuff. And realistically speaking, Rano got hit a decent bit less hard than Zetterburn did. But like the extra end lag on up smash, I think is like a direct nerf to compensate for the buff he implicitly got from the system changes. Yeah. Which I think is fine. We saw it's still a good move and has potential to combo into itself on fast fallers. So not too much love lost there. In terms of up tilt, you won't just be able to like spam it a billion times anymore. And it'll kind of fall out of kill confirm % eventually. Again, I think a quality of life change that just makes his killing a little bit less consistent. And the low % combo game a little less brain dead. Yeah,
the big thing that they addressed is his survivability. And it's specifically the bubble, where if you hit him in the bubble, so to my understanding, because they were kind of weird with like the way they explained it, and I think Menace corrected this, is this specifically affects Rano. Where Rano can hit the enemy Rano into the bubble still when you hit both. But if you hit Rano in the bubble where he puts the bubble on top of himself or right behind him and you hit like through with like a strong attack or something, he will go through the bubble. That is a huge nerf because now he needs to anticipate how you're trying to kill him, he needs to anticipate if he can even put the bubble in a place far enough to do that, or like the DI, all this stuff. Like it makes it so less likely for him to just keep saving himself at like 200%. Like,
yeah, and that shit's annoying.
It's really fucking annoying. Especially when it's happening as you're edge guarding him when he's doing it, because now he also can only make one bubble per airtime. Like that coupled together
that's a big change.
Huge nerf. And on top of it, he can't fucking fastball needles out of Hung when he hits the bubble now. That shit was obnoxious, where they would go to the top corner, Hung, charge needle, and fastball, and have like half a fan and drop it, and you're like, fuck me, I guess.
Yeah.
And if you get hit by it, you jump and get hit, you go up, he hits you, and you die. Like, that was obnoxious. And that's another specific interaction that is now not nearly as obnoxious now.
And I think the biggest thing is it means, like, in conjunction with the nerf to his up B, that as you take resources away from Rano, he will actually become edge guardable.
Yes. Yep.
And he's not going to be more edge guardable off rip, like Zetterburn may be, but as you kind of chip away at those resources, it's not going to feel impossible the whole time. There are situations now where you can get checkmates that you couldn't before.
Exactly. And that's how it should be. It's how it should be.
Yes, 100% is how it should be.
Yep.
Yeah, I think those changes are good as well. I think for anyone wondering, is Rano still going to be good? Yes, obviously he's still going to be good. Much like Zetterburn, the system changes directly benefit him. Not quite as much as they benefit Zetterburn, but they're still good for him. And it would take a lot more than this to knock him out of the top 5. And so even though like Rano and Zetterburn in particular are being addressed in certain ways, I think it's become pretty clear that these are two characters that they value being strong.
Yep.
And that they're probably going to continue to settle in around that top 5 area. And so I think even after the nerfs, after everything shakes out, there's probably still going to be a conversation about whether Zetterburn or Rano are the best character in the game still.
Yep.
But we'll have to see. I think it'll be interesting. I like that they didn't just decide to kill them.
I agree. I think this is a good direction.
I think they probably could have hit Rano a little harder.
Oh, yeah. Again, the elephant in the room is nothing here is stating
forward air or back air.
I think the big thing. Well, okay. So they did nerf back air, and I saw it. They had hitboxes on. They nerfed the hurt box of his foot. For anyone that's watching visually, you'll be able to see this. But the like half of his foot into his like ankle and leg was completely a disjoint. It was a sword, and now it goes like all the way into the foot. It was very briefly shown, and I popped off super hard because thank God Dan had hitboxes on while he was walking around, like running around pressing buttons, and I saw it. I saw the hurt box, and I was like, yes, we're so back. Like, it's not this literal sword.
So trading with back air might be more reliable.
Exactly. Yep.
In which case, that's like a solid change as well, and like contributes to the game feel of playing against it. But we'll have to see exactly how that shakes out.
Exactly.
All right. Do we want to do Craig really quick before we get on?
Yeah, we should do Craig. Yeah.
The master of disaster.
Yeah. You wanna list him out for Craig?
Yeah. So Craig didn't get quite as much as the other two.
No.
But as far as Craig changes go, he's got thicker leg hurt boxes.
Yeah.
Which again just means like those instances where it looked like you were hitting him and didn't are going to work a little bit better. His grounded horizontal jump speed is nerfed, which means that he has a less threatening like burst range on forward air and back air than he would have before.
Yep.
His up tilt hitbox is smaller, has 2 more frames of startup, only has one active frame.
Yes.
Which have a number of implications for how that move works. He got damage buffs, what seemed like pretty much across the board on a couple of moves. Down strong, forward air, and up air were the ones that were like confirmed. While Trevor was cutting out, they said something about his down B. So I guess that one's for us to discover on the day.
Yeah.
And then his down throw got 4 more frames of recovery, which means those like rinse repeat mix-ups on down throw or even just the guaranteed resets are not going to be as easy or there anymore.
Yep. That's what matters. That's the big one.
The third hit of Nair got some sort of nerf.
This
is when Trevor was
scaling,
cutting out. So
they showed it. So what it is it scales higher. So like because Nair does a ton of percent, it combos less efficiently when you do the full nair.
Okay, I see.
Yeah,
Good, honestly.
That's very good change. Very, very good change. And the last one, you want to go ahead?
Yeah, and then the very last one is when Craig throws the rock and the rock lands on him, it pushes the rock instead of Craig.
Yeah.
Which is a buff for sure.
It absolutely is a buff. Yeah, without any doubt in my mind. Yes. Yeah. Yep. So the big thing, I just want to make this make sense to people because people are like, "Oh my god, they buffed Crag," and it's like, listen, this is the thing. He's still gonna be good. Absolutely, no doubt in my mind. Is down throw gonna probably still be really good? Yeah. But this is proof that it's like they are looking at down throw, and down throw is the thing that they're targeting to nerf. Because that shit's fucking broken. It is so broken. It works forever on everybody. Like that's just the way it works right now. It is the forever kill confirm right now.
It does everything.
It literally does everything. And so what they're doing is they're starting to tweak it and address it to try to find the thresholds and like better continue to test that and find those percents. Because obviously we're looking at like numbers and being like, oh, that's not enough. But it's like this might affect like down throw at 0 as well as down throw at 150. Like that's the point.
Yeah.
They're trying to find the balance of hitting like both because both are the problem, right? Then they gotta make it so like he can kill you. That isn't just back air confirm, right? Like at the end of the day, like they want him to be a good character because Crag is cool and they like Crag and like all that, right? And so they're making it so that his moves do more damage, which then can scale to be more likely to kill. So, like, if he has to get a combo like that to kill where there's more DI and blah, 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 you know, who's say, like, how that goes? And then they can address things from there. Because, like, the obvious elephant in the room is, like, down air and, like, up air. Those are scary things to get buffed right now. Those moves are vile, vile moves. Will they get touched next? Probably. Yeah. But right now, down throw is their focus. And I'm so down for that because then that helps low percent and high percent. That's why I'm at.
I think the changes are good for sure. They push them in the right direction, specifically the nerfs.
Yep.
And again, it's nothing too crazy, but it's the stuff that was just like broken and annoying.
Mm-hmm.
Is getting hit in ways that are impactful. I think I mean, everything's said and done. There's a conversation that Craig might be the best character in the game now. And,
yeah, I've seen people say Crag. I've seen people say, I mean, you're not going to agree, but I've seen people say Orcane. I've seen people say it's going to be Raster, and we'll talk about that.
Yeah, but I think they hit him a little bit in terms of like the system changes being beneficial and also the buffs that he ended up getting. It probably comes out in the wash more so than it does with Zetterburn and Rano. So there's a conversation that Crag could be one of the best characters in the game. I already had him in top 3, and I think he's probably still there.
He's gonna probably stay there. Yeah,
pretty reliably. So I think they're probably looking to do more with Crag, and it sounds like they know. Yeah, and it sounds like specifically the way Trevor spoke about it was like he knows that there's more there that's a little too good right now. But at the very least, for now, they're choosing to start somewhere.
Exactly.
I imagine more is going to get hit soon, but in the time, you know, in the intermittent period, it's a good time to be a Crag main, is what I'll say.
Yeah, I will say Evo
because
Grand Finals is
going
to be really cool.
All your competition got nerfed.
Yeah, Evo Grand Finals is going to be sick. We're going to see Crag Raster for Evo Grands. That's going to be dope.
I love it.
So you want to talk about Raster?
Cheeky Bird. He's back, baby. He's back, baby.
Definitely back. He's
back.
Definitely back.
He's
so
back.
To preface, this is the official Raster rework that they've been wanting to cook up for a while and have, to my understanding, been testing probably for quite some time at this point. This is specifically, to preface everything we're going to say before anyone listening is like, what the fuck? It's like, they're trying to make it so that the answer to playing Raster is not throw, slip backwards, and dash dance. Because that's what it became. Once you hit, and like Dan talked about this specifically, where once he hit plat, that is what every single Raster who had a successful, like a positive win rate would do, was start out doing that. Because it was just objectively the right thing to do. So, I'm gonna take the reins on this one.
You go ahead. I'll listen to you
So-
chat for a little bit.
So Slipstream Mark III is now going to be going live. The way it works is he throws it. It will be out for 2 seconds and then go
Unless
on
he hits
cooldown.
it.
Whoa, let me finish. So it'll then naturally go into cooldown. At any point while it is up or in cooldown, if Raster hits you or a projectile, it now goes up for another 2 seconds. Okay. This is to encourage using Slipstream both aggressively and to actively be rewarded for interacting with your opponent as Raster, which is paired with nerfing, I'm assuming, Slipstream. It looked like it was worse. They didn't specify this, but it definitely...
No, they said it was worse. They said
did?
They
okay,
it.
I don't think they said how.
Yeah, they did.
But
no, they did.
The movement
they
stats. They just said movement stats. They didn't specify.
I would have sworn that they said his run speed.
It's not in here, but I would assume it's grounded and aerial move speed are both nerfed in Slipstream.
That's what I seem to remember them saying.
Ericel was 1. Yeah. Okay. Either way,
Yeah.
he is not nearly as fast as he was before in Slip. So this is like they're trying to even it out. On top of the other thing that they did was balance out his dash dance. They made his dash shorter, which effectively nerfs his dash dance within Slipstream as well. Because while it's
makes it less ambiguous.
Yeah, because it's more condensed.
Yeah.
And so this is really, really big. And I think it also the other thing with Slip is like throwing it at a projectile also will be more positive in his favor now too.
What they said is if he hits you with the Slipstream, like the initial throw, it goes up for 4 seconds instead of 2.
Thank you. Yes. That's the other one. Yeah.
That's to incentivize not just throwing but behind you.
Yep. Cool. I think this is a good change.
We should talk about this.
Yeah.
Because I think it's a good change too.
Yeah.
I think the counterplay to Raster was already camping him.
But now you're gonna
It's still going to be camping him.
But he won't camp you now.
He won't camp you back.
As hard.
I think is the thing. And so he won't be able to camp you back as hard. He's not able to go for all of these ambiguous mix-ups. And he's actively rewarded for engaging with you.
Yeah.
I think what they kind of did to wrap their heads around this, we're saying Slipstream cannot be so good that you need to have it up all the time.
Yep.
And so I think their philosophy going into this is like, okay, let's balance it, assuming that it's up most of the time.
Yep.
And make him a fair character despite that.
Exactly. Yep.
And I think that's what they had to do.
Yeah. I kind of want to pair that with like the next thing that they showed off immediately as well, which was that they sped up and shortened the total frames of forward air, up air, and back air. Forward air was also notably faster, like the most notable.
The startup was way faster.
Yeah, and it's like there was like in the time that you could do 1 forward air and then jump, I definitely saw Dan press 2 forward air, which is a massive change for the character.
Marth now.
Yeah. Thankfully that move is not super disjointed in the same way of like the most sword moves. Even though it looks like the Marth forward air, it is a much more contestable move than it might like look, which is important.
So for people wanting like the exact specifics, they specified that up air and back air have less end lag because they want people to be able to like use them as combo tools in the air without hit falling necessarily.
Yes.
Forward air has less end lag and less startup.
Correct.
So forward air was the only one that got buffed on both ends.
Yes.
But basically what they're saying is once you hit these moves in the air, we want you to not have to hit fall to continue comboing as Raster. We want you to be able to do some like combos in the air.
Yeah. An example of this that a lot of people I've seen correlate this to is something where like Zetterburn would do like up air nair or like nair up air like into itself, or like nair fair without even hit falling, like, or nair up air, like all that kind of stuff, where it's like a lot of other characters already do this. So it's it's scary because he can do it because he can come out there, right? But like, a lot of characters, the good characters, just Olympia does this all the time into like
100%.
nair up air, nair fair.
You
like,
can just you can up air down air if you really want to.
Do
like,
whatever the fuck you want. Like, a lot of characters already do this, and so that's why I was like, I wasn't immediately frightened by that change.
Yeah.
Forward air is definitely the scary one, just because of the nature of that
It's
move.
fast. It's fast now.
It's a big one.
Yeah.
We'll kind of skip a little spot. Well, okay, actually, real quick, the big thing that is important is that they did buff neutral air, specifically that it links consistently like it did in the past. This is my like one that I don't like the one major note in the patch where I was like, that move is fucked up right now. Actually,
this is a gigantic buff. This is
it's
a huge
massive buff. Because on the flip side, to kind of continue to go through this quicker, is they nerfed how strong F clamp and up special are, and most notably up special. They adjusted the angle that it throws you. They made the sweet spot smaller. They made the move just smaller. And so it's more DI-able, but like at high percent, it will kill you. But you won't die at like they were saying, like you won't die at 70 anymore in like near on a plat. Like that's what they're trying to fix. Very akin to like Olympia up B. In that sense, where it's like there are scenarios where you get carried into it and you're like, yep, I'm dead now. But it's like it's not like I got down throw by Raster at 70 on plat and now I'm just fucking dead. They're trying to address that problem, which I think is really good. Because now you can DI it. So if you get put in that and then you also get your DI mixed, they earned it now instead of just the move explodes you.
But then they also made all of his aerials a little bit more DI-able.
Yes.
So it's harder for him to get these like down air DI mix-ups when you DI out, but he still catches you with down air and then you DI the down air in and then he gets a full combo. Like it seems like they made it so like if you DI out,
you're going
ideally down air is not an option anymore, and up B is not an option, which is why it seems like they extended the clap, but then also remove some of the knockback on it.
And to be specific for anyone who happened to play Rivals 1, they made F clap his forward strong in the air for anyone that doesn't know. The sweet spot is now the furthest point, where before there was actually an overlap where the furthest point of the tipper was actually a sour spot. So there was like this weird middle hit you were supposed to hit. It was just not conducive, and it was really strong, which is why they did that. But now they weakened it, but made it easier to hit the sweet spot. I think this will be fine because more times than not, you're going to go out or combo someone out into F clap. But this will help address like one of the things people would do is in Slipstream just jump and just rip a clap and like hit you and try to kill you on stage. And now it's like it's going to be really good. Like it's going to be really good because now it's going to be easier and more like conducive to hit. But depending on the exact numbers of like the knockback and stuff like that, and as well as forward air, because forward air and nair being the easiest ways to combos into this and stuff like that, like that's what matters. Or like down air F clap, you know, like things like that are going to be really interesting to explore. So they nerfed aerial down strong. You have to commit to it for a little bit longer before you can jump cancel it. It just increases the risk
for going off stage and whiffing an aerial down strong. They nerfed the recovery on neutral B. So now it is, it takes your momentum into account. So if you're falling and then neutral B, you have to like regain that momentum.
Yeah.
Kind of thinking like Luigi Tornado kind of thing.
Yeah. And I will say too, like visually, it's easier to parse that it's happening.
It makes sense that it does that.
Yeah. It was really, really cool. I think they shouted out Dakpo specifically as like the beta tester who suggested that, which is really cool. So
Dakpo beta tester?
I think that's probably a recent thing. I did not know that. Then they did say this, and I'm gonna say this, and we're all gonna put our big boy pants on, and it's gonna be okay. They said he's definitely really good, and they know that he's really good, and they're looking at it, and that's the point. But this is to make progress so that Raster slipstream camping is not just what we're dealing with forever. The point is to make progression in trying to evolve the character to be more than just throw slipstream backwards and pick his nose. Like that's the goal.
Well, and the other thing we forgot to mention really quick is that you can jump cancel your tilts now.
Yes. Yeah. So, okay. I want to make sure this is very specified, actually, because I forgot to mention that. That's my bad. So the way it works is when you hit your tilt, I believe they said it was after 12 frames, approximately, you can cancel it. Now, make sure people know, in Rivals 1, this was frame 1, or like ridiculously early. You could cancel it. It is not going to be that. It is not. Is it going to be good? Yes.
We're
not gonna play pretend that shit's not gonna be good, especially when he is the only character who can do tilts out of dash. He is the only character who can do that. So
it'll be good.
It will be good. Will they probably have to adjust it? Yes.
We'll see.
No. Right? I just mean something with him is going to have to get adjusted. Like this, just out the gate. With how much I know about Raster as someone who's coached BioBurb for God knows how many years as Dakpo's coach, and for all the things, and having played Torna, God knows 100 hours at this point, this shit's going to be really good. It's going to be good.
I'm curious for some perspective on this, because undoubtedly it's going to be good.
Yes.
I've seen takes that are like, this makes Raster number 1 uncontested. And while I could see a world where that's the case, I don't know if I'm fully sold.
It specifically depends on the threshold change. Because if he is putting you into force knockdown at 30% off of like his aerials, he's the best character in the game. But if it's any later than 40, it is fine. Because he already does it at 40. That's just the way it works now. F-Tilt already does that at 40. So it doesn't matter. The same shit. But like, it then gets into the nuance of like, how exactly does it affect down tilt, right? How exactly does it affect forward air and each hit of forward air? Like, that's where it really becomes contextual. But without any doubt in my mind, this character is going to be one of the best in the game. Without any doubt in my mind. It's just the nature of the way his kit works functionally. That like
it's good by design.
Yep. The fact that
the only way that they made it bad when it was no fun at all to use.
The fact that they made a move like forward air now like a move that you can safe whiff now, because you literally couldn't before.
That you can use. Yeah.
Like, that's a big deal. That is a big deal. That like adds a whole nother layer to his neutral. They obviously didn't buff. Like, one of his biggest flaws is like, he is not good at doing tomahawk grab, empty hop grab. Like, his stats are not conducive to doing that. So he still isn't super good at doing that. But if he has more ways to mix up his approaches, and they also didn't say, and it doesn't seem like it, that they're buffing his safety on shield. That's his flaw, is getting floor hugged for a longer range than average, and is bad at hitting shield like super safe, like everyone else in the game does. That's the flaw.
Well, and the difficulty with that is the way that the new slipstream works is camping him is more effective, right? Raster has to approach you, has to try and hit you while you're actively camping him back while that slipstream timer's up, which means he has to put himself in riskier situations where you might shield, you might floor hug, you might do all of these things, and then punish him for that. So in my mind, I'm like, yes, he's got a lot of good stuff going on. But he has, in my opinion, the second most clear counterplay in the game.
Yeah.
Still.
Yeah.
Outside of Olympia. And
no, just keep going. I don't want to do it. Just go ahead.
It's fine. That's fine. I think Olympia has clear counterplay, but I think Raster has now some of the most clear counterplay in the game. Is it like necessarily intuitive? No, but once you know, it's easier to implement. And he also, and again, you might think this is a hot take, but with the slipstream change, his recovery is pretty contestable now.
Yes, I agree. Yep.
I think bottom half of the cast.
Yeah. I mean, his uppy doesn't snap still. That's not changed. They didn't give him compensation as far as we know. And when I was watching,
neutral B is worse, and he can't fuck around off stage for as long because the slipstream goes away.
Yep. No, that was a big thing that like they showed like talking about going to ledge with neutral B and ubby, and I watched Dan ubby. That shit did not snap. They did not buff it. And like, that's what matters. Yep. Can he still tech and all that stuff? Sure. But like, it's not as, he does not have the same, like,
it's not as good.
Yeah. It's not the mix-ups that Crag and Zetter are having when they're recovering. It's not even close.
And so it is gonna be like this character. It seems like the design that they're fitting into is once he gets you to like 60, 70, he's gonna ruin your fucking day.
He's gonna be really good.
I think there's no doubt about that.
Yeah, 100%.
And I think what they're trying to do is make it so that when you DI out, it becomes like an offstage mix-up scenario instead of just him killing you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I hope that's the case.
So there's like some counterplay there that makes him a little bit worse than just like auto killing you because you got hit with a forwarder.
Yep.
In the air.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if you camp him back, you find the right places to floor hug, and you kind of take advantage of the weaknesses in his recovery, I think those are the things that are going to make him still good.
Yes. But
like top 5 as opposed to top. You know what I mean?
You cut out there top 5 opposed to what?
Like top 5 as opposed to like clearly top 1.
Oh, yeah. I agree. Yeah. Yeah, I think it really will depend on like how the engine changes affect him directly and his moves.
Yes.
But thankfully stuff like that is really tweakable. Like they can address that.
Yeah.
And that's what matters. Yeah.
And I think too, this character more than most is going to expose people who know how to play against him.
Yeah.
Or not. And the people who don't, he's going to feel top 1.
Yep.
I think is where I'm landing on this, right?
Yep.
Like, I think we're going to see people get fucked by a Raster and be like, this character's unbeatably good. And there's going to have to be a difficult conversation of like, this is to a degree a you problem.
Yep. Super agree. Okay.
Yeah.
One winner and one loser. Go ahead.
Winner of the patch is easily Raster.
Yeah.
Easily Raster.
Yeah.
I again, and I know this is a bit of a hot take, but like he was playable before, but it 1 felt bad, and like 2 was quite hard for the reward you were getting, which comparatively was not that good.
Yep.
I think he's gonna feel better. He's gonna be better generally, and I just think like when you think about like fun as a winning factor, I think he got more than anyone easily for sure.
I'll say my winner. I'll do my winner.
Oh yeah, say your winner. Yeah.
It is absolutely Arcane, especially when it comes to just shut the fuck up and listen to me. Especially because one of the most dominating places where he already was dominating was the floor hug war. Is now executionally easier. He now has more options because of down strong and Hydra playing down strong, straight up being positive at 0 now, not 30, 0. That does matter because that first 30% was the hardest 30% for him to get.
Yes.
That's the hardest part. Nothing here, at least that we've seen, addresses the consistent kill confirms that he has. He has some of the most consistent in the game. He has one of the strongest advantage states in the game. Especially now that everyone's recoveries are getting worse, his loop of grab a ledge and rinse and repeat you is the simplest in the game, bar none. Up there with Crag, it is the simplest.
It's very easy.
And now it is just better. And he is really heavy and really hard to kill. And as these things get harder and harder to do, if they don't directly address him, like they mentioned like his wall jump is like a big one that they're looking at. But from what we've seen, and obviously nothing here was mentioning him specifically, this is one of those ones where he like skated on by and it's like they'll get to him eventually, but he did not get, I think he only got buffed for sure, without any doubt in my mind, because not only is it going to be more consistent to challenge floor hug, that when he's at low percents, it's executionally easier to run at somebody and floor hug grab now. And he's so good at that. And I think that's really important.
I think the only aspect you could even argue that Arcane got hit is like weak down tilt and up tilt are going to get him punished more consistently now.
But he was down strong. Because it's like frame like 7 or something.
Again, like, and that's a little bit more. Not a little. That's a lot more of a commitment than like a wave dash up tilt. But
but also wave dashing is faster, right? And that's the thing.
Yes, which is really good for him.
Really good for him. Yeah, really good.
Yeah, that's.
I think that's the change that you have to consider is like Orcane's wave dash is already fucked up and it's better.
Yeah. Now that target of him wave dashing and hitting that is now way less susceptible.
Yeah. So I think definitely you're right. Orcane's a big winner this patch.
Yeah.
One, because he didn't get hit, but the system changes are also good for him.
Very good. For him.
Again, how much is this going to manifest?
We will have to see.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll have to see.
Yeah.
But I think he's definitely in the conversation for top 5 as well.
I will say Orcane is definitely like on the come up right now too, where like obviously we've mostly seen Marlin, but players like Iota and players like Maya and Remrin have been really starting to show up in these online tournaments more and more and more. You know, we talked about Hampolo at the beginning of the stream. Maya is that for West Coast of just constantly entering the Hop on PNW tournament, and she has just gotten better and better and better and better, and now she's getting top 3 and beating the top players now and taking them to game 5, and it's like that's the next one. She's the next one that's going to have the level up there. And then, like, it's already starting to show. And it's like, Orcane could already do it. And now it's like, it's now going to get scarier, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely think Orcane's in a solid spot.
Yeah.
Will he need a nerf?
Who's to say? Who knows?
Who's to
maybe
say
Downstrong could be friend 10. Who could, maybe that's the play.
I think, you know, if we were going to do something, it would probably be something nerf related, but
yeah, you know,
Orcane's definitely in a good spot. I think he's in the conversation for top 5. It'll be interesting to see how everything shakes out. His worst matchup definitely got nerfed. Is it going to make it not a bad matchup? Probably not. No. We'll see how significant the culmination of changes is. I think you're definitely right saying that Orcane's a big winner here.
Okay, who's the loser? Who do you got?
I think my loser is a spicy one. I think it's Forsburn.
I actually was also going to say Forsburn. You give a reason, then I'll give a reason. Let's go back and forth because I do actually think it's Forsburn as well.
It's just nothing about this is nice for him.
Yep.
He has one of the smash attacks that was an exception from the floor hugging rule.
Correct. Yep. And it's his biggest one.
An important one at that. It's not like it was a relevant smash attack, which means the counterplay for that is super reliable. And that is one where floor hugging it and even just teching sets up situations where you get to punish it.
Yep.
So that stinks. But I also think to moves like dash attack, I think to moves like down tilts and everything like that, and how it's just easier to play around them now.
What it is a lot of them are telegraphed single hit moves.
Yes.
That's the specific part of it where like at those lower percents, he's going to have to be really deliberate with like hitting somebody and like resetting again. And like at the highest levels of play, like this has already been seen by people like Cake already like actively doing this. But now that it's going to be easier for everyone to floor hug war him the way Plup does, right? And the way Marlin does, it's like now you're going to get even less. And so it really is going to depend on the thresholds for things like his back air and down air and stuff like that to be like, can you even find that opening or that knockdown? But I think at those like sub 40% is going to be the same, if not harder. While for everyone else, it's going to get a lot easier. I'm curious to see what Downstrong is going to look like when it hits somebody, because that's the only exception, because it's a really fast like burst move that you can do like from dash or run to contest floor hug. So I'm very curious about that one. But I think you're absolutely right in the fact that it's like it's gonna be way like moves like F tilt are just gonna be even easier to punish now, and they already nerfed it too, so it's like,
well, and F tilt in particular is one of those moves that the only reason it was hard to punish was because wave dash was slower out of shield, right? Like it's just truly he is one of the only characters that feels like he just got universally like negatively affected by this, and also he was already not that good.
I will say like if dash attack doesn't like force knockdown at like 30, he's gonna suck. he's just gonna suck. Like he's just gonna suck. And I mean he'll be good, right? Because I don't think he'll be like so unbearably bad, because he's still force and his kit's really good, right? But it's just it's gonna be miserable to play as him. It's going to be very
I honestly, I think it will be regardless. Unfortunately, I think he's in a tough spot right now. I think he, unfortunately, even in the current patch, is a little frustrating to play as. And I think this doesn't help at all.
I can tell you my Forsburn playtime has just been doing this.
Yeah.
And it's not like just because I'm playing Olympia. It's like I've been playing anyone else. Like it's not fun. I've just been going down and down and down.
the other low-key losers are Loxodon and Edelus.
I think that'll be more contextual to like the knockdown stuff, and because I wanted to say Lox, but I think his moves
forward tilt is just not gonna exist anymore.
I mean, that's a good thing. Fuck that move.
That's a good thing.
That's a net positive. I'll say it. And honestly, the sooner that Lox players stop using that move, the better they get. Unironically, that move is fake, completely fake.
Yeah, it will depend on the knockdown thing, but like unfortunately because Lox is so slow, he's not often able to like even if you tech really catch you. So it'll just be neutral resets, which I feel like other characters just get more.
Yeah.
As opposed to just a neutral reset, especially if they're ready for it. Yeah. And then with Edelus, being able to auto floor hug dash attack is
instant L, like instant L.
It's a much bigger nerf than people I think initially
having a
thought of.
Floor hug dash attack, especially online, was just like a coin toss. It was literally a 50-50 if you got it.
Well, and considering that's how he starts the fuck you combos, like it's everything.
The ultimate Luigi combos, as the kids like to call it.
Yeah. And so even if you're able to floor hug tech down tilt, like you're out. You're out of the destruction combos. So that one I think is pretty tough. And I think Lockdown players may start mitigating it by going for wave dash out of dash attacks on hit. And that'll be the way to like start playing around it. But that is so much more onus on Loxodon than any other fucking character has to do in that, or on Edelus than any other character has to do in that situation, that I think Edelus takes a pretty big L for that alone.
Yeah. I super agree. I think that is going to be like a very noticeable thing. As well with him having like really slow strongs. You know, I mentioned earlier that like having the ability to use his strongs at lower percents as like a hard hit to deal a lot of percent will be really nice. But like all his strongs are really slow, excluding like up strong. And so I'm curious to see what up strong is going to look like with the engine changes, you know? Who knows?
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll have to wait to see. Yeah, but that's gonna be probably the first thing I test immediately. Is like, does it scoop? Does it put him in the force knockdown? Oh, all right, let's see what happens.
I think unfortunately what it does is it just puts a lot more onus on like fair being the move that opens people up, and not a bad move, but I don't know if that's what you want your main combo starter to be.
All I'm saying is if at 30% or like 40% F tilt does force knockdown when they floor hug, I'll actually cry tears. That's what I want. That's the dream. I've been asking for that to be the case. And so if it does oh my, because the whole thing is he is the best RTC in the game because of dash attack.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
That is like the thing that like if it does that at a low enough threshold, we're balling. Like it's good enough. Yeah, there's a chance. But I think you're right. The other
difficulty is like auto floor hugging down tilt also really just gets easier now.
Yeah, you just hold it and you're like, go ahead. Yeah, one. Yeah.
Hit the second hit. Okay. Hit the second. I have a faster way dash out of shield. You're fucked. Yeah.
I'm grabbing you now. Yep.
Yeah. So that's who I would have on losers.
Agreed.
But I think that's the patch.
Yeah. I will say,
we did it.
Out of 10. What do you rate it? Just like no thoughts. Just out of 10. Easy peasy.
Out of 10. My first thought, the first number that came to mind was like 8.5.
Yeah.
I think is very high, but I think every change they made in the patch, barring a couple niche ones, is good.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, and it ranges from good to exactly what I wanted.
Yeah.
And I think when you consider how big this patch is, it's very hard to argue with that outcome.
Yeah. Literally 8 out of 10. Rastard Air should not be buffed, and they didn't nerf Crackdown Air still. These are my -2s.
Yeah,
that's literally it. Those are my -2s. We get those in. It's a 10 out of 10, baby. Like we're balling. This is the most excited I think I've been to play the game since like the December patch. When they first really did that big wave of the engine changes. This is really nice. I'm excited, genuinely, because I definitely have shared the sentiment with a lot of people of just like I haven't been playing as much. I haven't been streaming as much because I've been waiting to see what they want to do. Like that's it. And now that we know, I'm excited for it, which I hope it drops next week.
It does drop next week.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the biggest thing was we weren't sure how they were going to stick the landing.
Yes.
And like I said, we had the conversation of like, there's no way floor hug stays the way it is now.
Yeah.
They either get rid of it or they bring back auto floor hug and make some adjustments. Yep. And I think as much as they could have stuck the landing with this, it's probably the best place we were possibly going to start. So I think I'm optimistic about where we're going to be.
Agreed.
And I think it's a good time to be excited about the game, especially with this and Obsa right around the corner. I think there's some like rejuvenation of like, okay, can we get back into it and have a good time?
It's a great way to spice it all up, because while these guys will still be good, it's normalizing a lot of what they do to be less oppressive. That's the key. Is the word, like,
it's the annoying shit, right?
Yeah,
like it's all of the shit that just felt like shit to get hit by.
Yep.
And I'm hoping at the very least that like Opsa as a character is able, like, she's not going to keep Zetterburn in check. Let's be so for real.
No.
Maybe she keeps Craig and Rano in check in like a perfect world.
I can definitely see, like, I mean, with the way her kit works, it's like I'm sure she can pressure characters like Craig who are slower, and it like to deal with like the annoying ones, like Fleet and Rano and like Locks, where it's like I'm not coming near you. I'm throwing this shit at you and putting Cloud in places and distracting you and mixing you up and then comboing you and things like that, and just like rinse and repeating. Like I'm very excited to see how that goes. But who's to know? We'll have to wait and see. You know, just a couple weeks. What's the Christmas? You know, just a week away. Just 2 weeks.
Christmas.
Yeah. We're almost there. We're almost there.
So I think it'll be fun. I think there's, like I said, lots of things to get excited about.
Yes.
For those who can see, this came in the mail yesterday.
Yeah, the Orcane
plushie.
Did you get your code?
Look at it, be so cute. I did. Not only did I get the code, it is the best skin in the game.
It's cute.
By far.
It has a custom win song, right?
It has a custom win song. The bubbles are little balls of yarn. Like, there's so many aspects of it that are so cute, charming and adorable.
Yeah, I love that.
I think it's the best skin in the game.
That's awesome. I love that.
Maybe I'm biased, but it's very good.
That's why you don't think Orcane's the best, because you're biased. We know.
That's true. The plushie is very high quality as well, and quite nice.
No, they make good ones.
Yeah.
Okay. You want to talk about let's like speedrun Marvel. Okay. Let's just talk about it. So
speedrunning Marvel? Okay.
Yeah. So TLDR. Arxis is making a Marvel tag game. Banger. Like, that's cool as fuck. It's fucking Dragon Ball style Marvel, which is crazy to think about. With Arxis developers, which I don't know your feelings about that.
I love Arxis. Whatever. Let him fuck with it. I don't care.
This is where we differ. I do not fuck with modern Arxis that much.
No.
I think it will be fun to watch. I definitely don't think I will be playing this game. I definitely haven't enjoyed a modern Arxis game since like season 2 of Dragon Ball FighterZ. I have not touched one.
Strive is great.
That's just wrong, and that's okay. We can just agree to disagree on that one. We're not doing a Strive debate on the podcast tonight. We're already 2 hours in. I don't fuck with that game at all.
Oh.
Sorry. But
no, it's okay.
I do think this game visually is beautiful. Beautiful.
Stunning.
The voice acting that they showcased. So the characters they showed were Captain America, Iron Man, Miss Marvel, Spider-Man, Star-Lord, Storm, Doctor Doom, and Ghost Rider. I don't remember his name, but whoever voices Doctor Doom is a very famous voice actor, and they cooked. He is such a like aura farm to the max. There was a part where he like does like a knockdown setup, right, and then just like walks and like says a voice line, and I was like, oh, he's aura farming. Oh my god, this is the Doctor Doom I love. Like, they nailed it.
Yeah, they killed it.
It's beautiful. It's very inspired by like the changing up the designs like Marvel Rivals did too. Most notably, my other favorite thing,
amazing.
Iron Man is very intentionally designed to look like a Gundam. Fun fact, the specific dimensions for his shoulder pads, his entire legs, and the style of V-fin that he has on his head, the little like V, is directly ripped from Gundam 00 and Exia. It is 1-to-1. It is inspired 100%. It
looks like that.
Yep. It is literally 1-to-1, which is such a cool homage.
Just like Gundam Exia.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. And it's intentional, and it's a great like love letter to like these are things that we love and are bringing it together with Marvel to like bring it all together, and that's what a tag game is bringing it all together. Like, that's the fun of it.
Designs are nice as hell. Like, can we, and this is not confirmed, but there's a rumor going around that the one of the lead designers is the guy who did the designs for My Hero. And so that's where some of the like stylings come from.
Okay.
And I think if you look at Spider-Man in particular,
Oh yeah,
and think, and then have kind of like that My Hero design space in the back of your head, Spider-Man looks like a My Hero character in this game. So
that
again,
makes
this is not
sense.
like, this is not confirmed in any way.
Yeah.
But it is rumored at the moment, and based on what, like, I think Captain America and Spider-Man are the two biggest examples of characters that look like they could just be in My Hero.
I will say it's probably just the artists were inspired by it, because if Horikoshi did work on this, that would have been part of the advertising for sure.
But I think it might be later, like the little...
There's no way they wouldn't immediately say it. There's just no, it's so big. Like, you underestimate how famous, like how powerful his name is in like the modern world, especially with this being like a Japanese made game. Like, that's a big thing, that like their name being attached is really important. I would be very surprised if it's not the case.
Might just be inspired, but again, like I implore anyone to take a look at Spider-Man and tell me that he doesn't look like a My Hero character.
Yeah. Oh no, I agree with you 1,000%. Yeah. No. Like both him and Miss Marvel look like My Hero characters. Like very much so. Yeah. But that's super cool. I didn't even think.
So a couple things about it. It is it's 4v4, which hasn't been done before. They're trying to kind of like shake up the MVC formula.
Yeah.
And even like a lot of characters are inspired by their MVC counterparts, but are kind of getting revamps, which is really nice. Like Spider-Man and Doctor Doom have had the same moveset in MVC for a very long time. And so I think having some moves that are taken from MVC and still inspired by it, while also kind of modernizing it and giving us something new, is really interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think just having a completely new team, like you mentioned, especially the movesets, like they're gonna be very different. And they'll be like homages, but it won't just be like, this is the same Spider-Man combo. Yeah. Fucking Christ.
That being said, 4v4 is going to be fucking crazy.
Yes.
And I'm going to be interested to see how they implement it in a way that feels good and not just like pure chaos every time you're on the screen. The thing that they allude to, and they don't confirm this, and they don't show the health bars in the trailer.
Yes.
But when basically someone asked, do you have to learn 4 characters because that's fucked? And the devs basically said no.
Yeah.
You can choose to use one character with 3 assists or swap out characters depending on the matchup. And the wording of this sounds very much like you have a shared health bar.
Yeah, it also reminds me of the feature in 2XKO, with whatever the loadout thing system that they have, where you could choose to have like the strong, the fuse. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to be that though.
I'm really curious to see what they do, because I definitely don't want to play a game that has 4 full health bars. There's no way I want to do that.
No, but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. That's why I'm like, I think they know better. Yeah.
Is one shared health bar between all characters. And so then if you switch, it's like, okay, it's because I want a better matchup.
Did we see a happy birthday?
I want this to feel better. I don't think we did.
That's weird.
We did see... No, we didn't. I'm thinking the Invincible Fighter. We didn't see snapbacks either.
Weird.
Yeah.
Ooh, there was a thing that they did tease that I saw a thread about. Is they showed what is it? I don't remember the exact term, so bear with me. But it's like, you know how you could like break the barrier or the wall and go into the next area?
Yeah.
They showed the animation, the frame of Spider-Man like splatted against a wall, and it's like, oh, that is totally in the game, but they didn't show it.
Well, they showed a transition.
They showed a transition, but they didn't show it with that specifically.
I know, it was weird.
It was. I think it was just one of the things where it just wasn't ready to be shown to the public yet, because it's obviously very early footage that they showed too.
Yeah, and I'm curious how they end up implementing it, because they showed a wall splat that didn't result in a transition.
Yeah.
And then they also showed a transition. But they showed them separately.
The other thing that I want to talk about is, if this is a game where you can play like 4 characters, hypothetically, right?
Yeah.
How many fucking characters are going to be in this game?
Well, and so some people are wondering how simple the characters are going to be.
Yeah.
As a result of like needing to get so many in. And some people are kind of theorizing that it might be like a 3-button fighting game. With
my fear,
another like 3 buttons for assists.
my fear is that this is like mobile game fighter. That is my like nightmare. That's what this turns into, where it's like have you ever been to the arcade and like played like the arcade version?
I know what you're saying.
And it's like the attack, and then like high or low, and then just defend or like super or assist button, and like that's it. And I'm like, God, please don't be that. Just like don't be that.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't need to be Dragon Ball levels of difficult. It doesn't need to be. I there's a middle ground that we can find, and I feel like none of the tag fighters that have been coming out have found this yet. Because you either make it so easy that like it is like so out of band and like unpatchable, where you have like Hunter x Hunter and like the early 2XKO, where you're like everything is fucked, right?
You're dead,
and you're just fucking dead because I found the button that works into the button that works into the button, like, and that's it. Or you have the like, here is this like offbeat fucked up double swap tag into super cancel combo that's like that's really jarring and hard to get into, and I think they don't want to do that. I think that like they learned the lesson from Dragon Ball that they don't want to do.
I mean, we did see active tag.
We did see active tag, yes.
Yeah, so that's in the game,
which is crazy, actually. Which is crazy,
fucked up, just on top of everything. But I think when you go back to this conversation about like one big health bar,
yes,
right? That means you don't actually have to learn all 4 characters.
Yeah.
Because your health bars are not tied to the other 3. Right? Yeah. You get to like maintain, there's no inherent like life advantage for switching. There's like matchup advantages, and with stuff like active tag, there's like pressure advantages.
Right.
But there's no like need to do it. Whereas in something like Dragon Ball, when you lose a character, you have to switch to another one.
That makes sense.
And so I think what they might do is give people just a big fucking health bar.
I think that'd be kind of fun.
So what they're going to do, like, because with this many assists, neutral is going to be fucked. There's no world where neutral is not just fucked.
There has to be like some crazy lockout. There has to be.
No, but there's not going to be, right? Like mix-ups in this game and neutral are just going to be fucked. That's what it is.
I'm just thinking about Iron Man's fucking hitting you with the fucking, here we go. Let's play Nooch, bro.
It's gonna be stupid.
I'm going to get fucking full screened like Dragon Ball all over again, but by 3 of these fuckers instead of 1.
It's going to be dumb. That's all there is to it. It's going to be stupid. There's going to be too many characters on the screen.
Yep.
There's going to be mix-ups built into it. It's going to be hard to deal with. But what I think they're going to do is they're going to give you a big enough health bar that at least you get to play neutral 3 or 4 times.
I can see that. 5. Yeah.
And so that becomes a little more satisfying of like, I have a very hard time believing if they go the route of single health bar that there's going to be TODs in this game.
Yeah. Oh, God.
So to balance that with having 3 assists, the health bar needs to be fucking huge. Or there needs to be some sort of like combo lockout that happens at a certain point, which is another option.
Ooh, that's probably going to be what it is.
But we're going to have to see,
plus scaling.
Because there's no world where neutral in this game is not fucked. There's no world. I'm sorry. If you thought neutral in this game was going to be normal,
I literally just close my eyes and I just think about like I forget the name of the character in Skullgirls who just like drops the things from the ceiling or whatever.
Like Peacock?
Yeah, like Peacock. I'm just like imagining like shit like that where just like fucking Groot is just making it rain fucking hell, and you're just like,
he just drops a tree on you.
Here we go. It's full chaos. I'm just fighting fucking Teddy from Persona 4 Arena, but there's 3 of them now. Like, let's go.
You guys have seen Marvel.
Yeah, Marvel's
neutral
crazy.
In Marvel is fucking insane.
Yeah,
right. Like that's just how it is. That's why people like it.
Yeah.
So I imagine it'll be the same, but I'm hoping. I think they're going to do this single health bar thing. It seems like they're trying to innovate on the formula. I think you're just going to have one big fucking health bar.
Yeah.
And that way you get to choose, do I want to play 1 character? Do I want to play 2 characters? Do I want to play 3 characters? And it kind of iterates on itself. Do you know what I mean? Because you already have all 4. And so as you improve as a player and gain confidence to, maybe I switched to my second one.
Or you
I feel good about that.
Play a character just for the assist.
Yeah.
Like,
or I feel good about it. Maybe I switch to my 3rd one.
Yeah.
Right. And so it rewards you for investing time without requiring that you invest the time beforehand.
Yeah.
So I actually like the idea a lot.
Yeah. No, I think I hope that's what they do. I like the more you've said it, the more
Yeah,
I've been
that's
like, that
not
sounds fun.
confirmed, but
Yeah.
I did think
like
about
that
it a
idea.
lot.
I hope they do that. Yeah, I think this is a
Okay.
game like you're obviously very excited to play, and I'm excited to genuinely like watch. I don't really think I'm going to play it, to be honest with you. I might try it, but like
I love this shit.
I
don't
definitely
know,
made
it's
this
funny.
joke like immediately. I saw this game and I was like, that is so cool. But Arxis has not convinced me to learn how to play one character in like 6 years. So they got to figure it out. I haven't wanted to play a character since like Bardock came out and before that it was Raven. I haven't wanted to fucking learn anybody. I haven't wanted to learn a single character.
You're putting disrespect on Z Broly.
Fuck you. Yeah, close your goddamn eyes and play neutral. I don't want to hear it from you.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh, come on though, like Testament's fun. And Bridget is fun.
I just don't. It doesn't.
You're
it doesn't
a hater.
hit
You're
for
a
me.
hater. That's fine.
It just doesn't hit for me.
No
it
problem.
doesn't hit for me.
Either way, I think of the revealed characters.
Yes.
I'm really, really happy that they went with the new Ghost Rider design.
Yes.
Like
it's
modern
so
Ghost
cool.
Rider.
Yeah.
That's my fucking guy.
Yeah.
Straight up, that's my guy.
Yep.
That's who, like day one, I will be.
Yep.
I will be maining. He's
For
so
anyone
fucking
watching,
cool.
here's what he looks like.
Look at him.
Yeah.
And what I really like too, and something I didn't like about his Marvel vs. Capcom experience, like show up, I guess, was that he's huge in those games.
Yeah.
He's like a big boy.
Yeah. They made him like 7 feet tall. Yeah.
Well, they made him 7 feet tall. They made him wide.
Yeah.
Despite him being a skeleton.
Yeah.
And so and I think it's because he's supposed to be like this big ranged character or whatever.
Yeah.
But I like in this game that like they went for the design where he looks like he's lean. He still has the chains and like the whip and everything like that, but he looks more like nimble and like he's supposed to look. So I really like that.
No,
it'll be him and Star-Lord is going to be day one for me for sure.
So in Marvel 2, I played Captain America. So I'm definitely excited to try, like if I get to play, I will definitely try him like immediately. He was like one of my mainstays for a long time. I've loved the way they've done his kits in the past. And then I gotta try Iron Man just because of the way he looks as a Gundam lover.
It's just Iron Man, right?
That's
it's just
my
Iron
goat.
Man.
That's my fucking goat. So
and so then my next question was gonna be, do you have like a little like a wish list of characters that you want to be in the game?
Oh yeah, no. I want them to put Dante Virgil Zero in the game. I think that would
Dante Virgil Zero, they're right there, those three.
Yeah, no. Genuine answer. I hope they put in like. It's hard because there are so many characters like where I'm like, oh, you know what? Like I like the way like I think it's cool the way Wolverine like is played in like 2 and 3, right? But like.
Sure.
They would do a different twist. So like, I don't know what that would be. You know, like it would be cool if they did like Logan, right? Instead of like X-Men Wolverine.
Yeah, like X-Men Wolverine.
Like it would be really interesting to see if he played more like a bigger heavy instead of the whole like crazy, like super fast
I think
character.
I'm more so asking who you want as opposed to like who you think. Because if we go like, who do we think? Like Magneto
I just mean
is
like
obviously going to be in the fucking game.
I wouldn't want them to just put the same Wolverine in again. That's what I mean.
Yes, okay. Yeah.
It probably would be Wolverine, but with like a completely new design. I would want them to do like something very, very different from like the normal like feral Wolverine that they've done in like the previous games. And even in like Marvel Rivals, like I think it would be really cool to have the like an older Wolverine.
Like the grizzled, kind of.
I think that's more interesting, honestly.
It would be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, like give me like a top 5 because there's a lot of Marvel characters. And I know you like Marvel characters.
I do love Marvel a lot.
First 5 characters that come to mind.
It's Logan. Then they gotta put fucking Winter Soldier in. They would make him look so cool. He would. I think
Winter Soldier is.
Bucky would be
very cool
because he's so cool. Like his design in like Rivals is awesome. So they do anything even adjacent to that, that would be fire. Someone in chat said my next one, 1,000% Daredevil. He has
Daredevil's free.
He would be so interesting to like what they can build off of with like all different weapons he has, and like he is a unique fighter and things like that would be really, really awesome. Honestly, God, those are the only 3. Actually,
those are the only 3.
That's immediately what popped in my head because I feel like anything past that, I'm like, oh, you know, Human Torch would be cool. I don't want to fight Human Torch.
Yeah, dead ass. That's dead ass.
No flyers. I'm good on that.
So my prediction, I created both a wish list and who I think is going to be in the game. And I won't go through like my who I think, but I like people know like Magneto, Wolverine.
Yeah.
Those characters are very, very likely to be in the game because of the history that they have with Marvel vs. Capcom.
Yeah.
But I will go through. I think there's going to be 24 characters when the game releases.
I can see that. I think that's
it's a multiple of 8. It's a reasonable number to hit.
Yeah.
It could be more, it could be less, but I think that's what they're going to go for.
Yeah.
My most wanted characters, I have 15. And I ordered them. This is how you know I was thinking about this. I ordered them from 1 to 15.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go through them. My number 1 is Carnage.
Oh, yeah, you would. Yeah.
He has never been in a fucking fighting game before.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's infinity things you could do with the moveset.
Yeah.
I think that would be so cool.
Yeah.
My number 2 character is Doc Ock.
Oh.
Again, there's so much opportunity for that to just be so cool.
Yeah.
Can you imagine like the tentacles on the screen? Like
the assist is just like a swing in. Like, yeah.
Well, dude, it would suit the game, right? Like it would be so fucking cool. My number 3 is Venom, who again,
no surprise,
has a long history with like Marvel vs. Capcom and stuff like that. Yep. I think Venom is one of those characters that will be in the game no matter what.
The problem with stuff like that is always like, now we got fucking Sony in the mix. God, who knows?
I think it's guaranteed, but
I hope so.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe I think Venom and Magneto are two characters that are just going to show up.
I hope so. Yeah.
Number 4, Silver Surfer.
Oh, that's a good one. I'm adding him to my list. Yeah.
I think there's so much you could do with Silver Surfer, and he's like a fan favorite, man. Everyone loves him. He's just cool. He just aura farms.
Yeah.
And I think there's something really cool that they could do with like his surfboard as like a mechanic that you like got on. Or even like used or something crazy like that.
Of, like anything that's riding, like all I think about every time is the horses in fucking JoJo's, and I'm just like, nope. Actually, I don't like that. We shouldn't do that, but it would be cool. Yes.
I think he's very cool.
Yes.
You can probably tell by this list that I'm a pretty big Spider-Man fan.
Yeah.
My number 5 is the Prowler.
Yeah. Prowler would fit.
I think he would be so cool.
Like if they did like Spider-Verse-esque Prowler too.
Yes,
like,
but I'm saying like imagine the like Japanese design that they could like do with the Prowler in that like bright art style. It would be so fucking cool.
That would fit. Yeah. And like he could be like a grappler. Like that would go so hard.
Oh yeah. It would be crazy. Like make him like a close quarters fighter, give him like some like anti-gravity stuff or like invisibility. Like he'd just be cool as fuck.
Yep.
My number 6 is Jubilee.
Oh, okay, that's a good one. Yeah,
the X-Men character. I just think in the art style, there's a ton of stuff you could do with her. Never been even close to a fighting game.
Nope.
And I think
she's for some reason,
she's very popular. And I think for some reason in my head, she's just a character that Arxis would like.
Oh, 1,000%.
I think the fireworks and all that is very
She's like a fucking gamer, like canonically, like it fits.
Yeah, but she's also like. She's very flashy.
Yes.
And Arxis likes the flashy, bright color. She wears a yellow jacket. Like, I think she's a good fit. Number 7 is Green Goblin.
Oh.
Again, I think the character that's long overdue to be in the game. You could make him a cringe zoner if you really wanted to, but I think there's a lot of really cool and fun stuff you could do with Green Goblin, especially like incorporating the glider.
I agree.
Even as like another assist, if you wanted to get really fucked up with it. Number 8 is Daredevil, which we already talked about, so we can move past that. Number 9 is Magic.
Oh.
And if you include Magic with like a Dark Child install, I think it just built itself. Like it's day one. It's automatic.
Fucking good.
It would be really cool.
She would be the one to get me to play. That's the one. That's actually
and like the disjoint on the sword and like the amount of things she could do.
No,
with
I joked about Dante Virgil.
Teleports.
It's the sword. I just want a sword. That's it.
Yeah, Magic, another character, and this might be a hot take, but I think there's no way she's not in the game.
She's gotta be.
She might not be in base game.
Oh, she's gotta be.
She's coming at some point. She's too popular and too cool.
So cool.
My number 10 is Miles.
Yeah,
I think Miles deserves to be his own character, and he deserves to be in the game.
Oh, he's different enough. And they've proven that. I think at this point, and
he's iconic, man. Miles is cool as fuck. He's got different powers.
Yeah.
Give me 2 Spider-Man. If we can have 2 Gokus at different Super Saiyan levels, we can have 2 Spider-Men. Completely different fucking powers.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
My number 11 is Beta Ray Bill.
I don't care. We're moving on. Yeah.
Okay, we'll move on. My number 12 is Moon Knight.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, he would fit.
And I think what would be so cool if they did as Moon Knight is if they made him like a stance character.
You immediately said it, and I was like, oh my god, he would be stances. Oh, that'd be so good.
Yeah, the different like personalities would be like different stances.
If they did like the outfit swap like they did in the show.
Yeah, with the stance.
Oh, that's so good. Yes.
Yeah, so I think Moon Knight is another character that I would be very surprised.
That would be cool. Yeah.
If he wasn't in the game, because I think he's a shoo-in, and from like a design perspective, he adds a stance character to the game, which I don't think anyone else really easily does.
Imagine they just make it like the thing, and he has like different left hand or right hand.
I think the thing is going to be in the game day one as well. Yeah, that's my pick for the Fantastic Four character that makes it in.
Yeah.
Number 13 is Nightcrawler. That one, it kind of speaks for itself.
He fits. He just fits a Marvel game. Yeah.
Yeah, and he as far as I know, he hasn't been playable.
Nope.
Which seems crazy to me.
Too, right?
No.
Then no. That would have been it would have to have been that one or like Tatsunoko.
Yeah,
and like
because like the teleport would have been so cool. He has a bunch of weapons that he can use. Like there's a lot of opportunity for like cool rushdown stuff with Nightcrawler.
Yeah.
Number 14, I have Gambit. I feel like Gambit is a fan favorite that's like long overdue to come back.
Yeah, we can throw that shit. Yeah.
And then my number 15 is Blade, who I think would also just like very easily fit and offers like a really cool playstyle with like the gun and the sword and being a vampire.
Yeah, he'd be cool.
Yeah, so that's my top 15.
Now I fuck with that.
It's 50% Spider-Man characters.
It's good take.
30% X-Men.
Spider-Man's got the good shit. It's cool.
20% other.
Yeah, no, I think a lot of this would be really, really cool, and like above anything, like we've said it a few times now, it's just I'm excited to see how they design them, like visually, not only just outfits, but like the way that they look when they're doing their moves and their combos and their finishers and their specials or whatever the fuck they call it. Like it's gonna be so cool to be like, what the fuck is gonna be Iron Man's level 3? Like I'm so excited. It would be like,
he goes in the Hulkbuster.
Dude, God, it has to be. It has to be like the.
But they showed it off.
They did. I was literally just popping off so hard. I just didn't like process any of it.
They showed off like 2 seconds of it.
Oh,
he goes in the Hulkbuster.
That's awesome. See that?
And the Hulkbuster
slaps.
has a dope ass design.
It just completely eluded me because I was popping off that Iron Man looked like a Gundam. I didn't even perceive that.
Yeah.
Like shit like that.
It's like
so
when like
cool.
Ghost Rider goes in the car,
I
like
saw
in the
that.
hot rod,
Yeah.
Oh,
that's so cool. Yeah, no, this is gonna be awesome. I'm really excited. This game's gonna be really fun, both play and to watch, and I think that they are gonna nail that side of that. Like Dragon Ball was the perfect example where like not only did people love playing it, but like I will never forget that clip of the fucking everyone doing the Cell scream. Like that shit is
good.
Iconic, and just like getting something even remotely like that moment again in the fighting game community is exactly what we need. And if it's fucking Spider-Man talking shit in his windscreen, that's what it's got to be. Like I'm so down for that.
When he comes out on the screen, he kicks you in the face and he goes, Spider-Man.
It's so good. It's so good. Like I love that shit.
And I think people underestimate how much good faith the Marvel IP has in the fighting game genre. I don't think there's an IP out there that could garner more hype in the FGC than Marvel. I genuinely don't.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a good game. I'm very much looking forward to it. I'm very much looking forward to all of the wacky character reveals and seeing the directions that they go with everything. I'm very much looking forward to it.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Agreed. All right. Well, I think it's time for our final little segment as always, and it'll be our media of the week. Would you like to do yours?
Yeah, so my media of the week was the Rehearsal season 2. And so for those of you, so do you know who Nathan Fielder is?
I do. Oh.
Okay, it's his show.
He has another show?
Yes. So some of you might know Nathan For You.
Wait, is this the one where he harasses his mom? Is that what this one is?
No.
Okay, I don't know what this one is then. Keep going.
Basically, Nathan's whole bit is that he does like pretty like public stunts where he just kind of has this talent for seeking out crazy people and yes-manning them into doing crazy shit.
Yeah.
And the show The Rehearsal is basically built around the idea that you can rehearse enough for any social situation ever that you can become a better person and prepared for it. to the point where that you can influence the outcome however you want.
Okay.
And so basically the first season, he builds very elaborate sets of people's homes, of bars, of everything like that, and hires hundreds of actors to help him like role play insane situations like over and over and over.
I hate that so much, but it's so good. I gotta watch
The
this.
Rehearsal season 2 takes it a step further. Where he starts having like genuine concerns about aviation safety. And without kind of getting into spoiler territory, goes as far as to like build a replica of an entire airport and like get real captains involved. And it's just fucking insane. Crazy.
That's
Every
insane.
episode, you'll be like, surely that's where this ends. Yeah. And it's always going. The bit. There's always more bit. There's always more bit.
God.
And he's so incredible at yes manning crazy people that they just flock to him and just agree to shit.
God.
And the final episodes, the finest episode is one of the craziest things I've ever seen on TV.
Okay.
And I'm genuinely surprised they let him do it.
I will
I
won't say what
this. It is, but
yeah, I will have to watch this.
Shocking.
Awesome. Yeah, if it's anything that I've seen from like Nathan For You, because that was an amazing show.
This
is gonna
several
be awesome.
Degrees more intense than that.
Okay. Well, hell yeah. So the Rehearsal season 2 specifically. Do you have to watch season 1 to watch season 2 or no?
No, but season 1 is also amazing. I recommend watching them both. They're both like 6 episodes, and the episodes are like 30 minutes to an hour, so it's easy to binge them both. They're both very good. I recommend both seasons.
Mine is nowhere near this at all in any frame. It is an anime called Given. To speak anime to you fucking people, it's boys love. It's awesome. It's about these guys who are like, it's like 17, 18 to like early 20s. And it's about like communication and like how to use music to like actually express yourself and like healing from like seriously intense trauma. There's some trigger warnings on some of this stuff, but more than anything, it's very like it has a little bit of intense topics at times, but it is very like light to watch. It's short. It's like 11 episodes. And the music is awesome. It's beautiful. I literally like there's a episode where they like play their first song. I dead ass cried. Like actually cried. As someone with a huge music background, music is very special to me and my upbringing. Yeah, this shit's awesome. And I encourage anybody who has experienced the joys of music and how it has helped you to learn more about yourself or other people around you. Please give this a watch. And if you're gay, give it a watch. It's great. Yeah, that's the other half.
So many
of it.
options.
Yeah, it's great, and it's not bait too. It's unapologetically gay, and I super respect the writers and the animators for making this because it's not like bait. In anime, like a lot of times they'll have what's called like yuri bait or it's like yaoi bait or whatever.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It's not that. It's not. It is very much like they're gay, like, and you're like. This is a breath of fresh air. Actually.
Yeah, it's not like Promare where you're like, I'm pretty sure they're gay.
Yeah, it's like they're gay, but like they're not kissing, and you're but they want to kiss like really bad.
Like, can you guys kiss already, please?
Yeah, exactly. And it was nice to make it, and it wasn't. The thing about it is, nothing ever feels like weird or anything like it. It just felt like that they were able to make the story they wanted and tell the story they wanted. It doesn't feel filtered at all, which is really cool. For an anime, that's rare, especially because this came out in like 2019.
Oh wow, yeah.
Which is like new-ish, but like even in recent times, they skate the line with this stuff, and yeah, it's good shit. Good shit.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah, that I think that wraps it up for today. We did it.
We're done. That was a journey.
Episode. All right, guys. Well, I hope all you who are going to CEO, best of luck. I will see any of you who go to Garden Brawl there. Say hello. And we will be back probably next week to talk about the patch and how we feel and all that fun stuff.
We'll see.
All right. Bye.
See you.